will never shut.
Well, hello, everyone. How are you doing? And I have to put up Trendalin's comment because Trendalin and I, we're like this now with LNC meetings. We're like, sucks to be you. So there's Trendalin. This will be fun. Trendalin, I can assure you it's a lot more fun as an observer. And definitely so for Trendalin, because I kind of enjoy meetings. This last term was hell, but I remember in Grand Rapids, I hope, Trendalin, you don't mind me telling a story. We roomed together. Trendalin is awesome, but I look across the table at her. She hating life, man. And then when I watched back the meeting recording, I should get some clips. Here's Trendalin. Before I forget, though, because I don't do this every show, because I don't want you guys to get tired of hearing about him, but been my sponsor, a top sponsor for years. Sean Dempsey. He's a prolific author of like all kinds of books. Now, I've written a book. If those of you don't know, I wrote a commentary on a chapter of the Bible, but I'm not an author. I can write like factual stuff. I could probably write something on history. He writes fiction, history-based fiction. He wrote this book on investing. I should bring down the 2 children's book again that he wrote. Look him up on Amazon. He's been a sponsor of the show. I think it's going on 4 years now. So please support Sean. He supports me. If you would also like to support what I do, first of all, subscribe to the channel. That is free and it helps. And why is Lucy whining? Oh, I know why Lucy's whining at the top of the stairs. She thinks it's dinner time. Lucy! She ain't gonna come. Food's always more important. Or you can follow me on Twitter at Karen Ann Harlows. Last but certainly not least, and Bunchy's kind of in the way, you can support me. She's running around the basement whining. You can support me on Patreon at patreon.com/Pink Flame of Liberty. You can send me a super thanks. You can send me a super chat. And unless they are like terribly insulting, super chats all go on the screen, but it doesn't mean you have to send a super chat. If there's a comment I really want to respond to or want to highlight, I'm going to put it on the screen no matter what. But if you want to be sure to get something up there, is like a way to get a short little ad. Now, why am I starting so early? And we may have an intermission. I wish I made a graphic for it. I can put something on the screen that will just whatever. There may be a short intermission, but I wanted to be sure to cover everything that I wanted to cover before the meeting started. And I'm not positive I'm going to be able to live stream this. I was able to figure it out last time, but I have to be honest with you, I'm not exactly sure how I did it. So hopefully it will work this time. I was closing a thing and I'm like, did I just close my streaming program? No, I did not. So hopefully it will work this time. So the dog whining in the background is really, really distracting me. So that's going to be entertaining. Lucy, get your potato booty back over here. Lucy, come here. No whining. Food. It's the great motivator. So I wanted to be sure to cover everything. And we do have a musical presentation, which I think we're going to do first. Devin Saxon made a song in honor of the last LNC meeting. And I figured, why not highlight it on this show? We're enough in that I won't get, well, all my shows get demonetized usually anyway, because I got a pouty mouth. Oh, and I always show my shirt. Yes, I know the eyeglasses kind of have an unfortunate placement, but I got my Yas Queen shirt on. Anyway, it's got a hoodie, so that's kind of cool for a short sleeve. So we're going to play, and please give it the proper respect. We're going to play Devin's song. It's awesome. It is awesome. It's dedicated to Austin Martin and the last LNC meeting, and we're going to play it. Trendlin asks, where's Wayne? Wayne's upstairs, and he doesn't hear Lucy whining, but he's got like a work meeting that he's leaving to in a few minutes. So he probably forgot to feed the dogs, but maybe he'll hear her whining up at the top of the steps. Okay, without further ado, let's play. Hold on, I want to put my headphones on so you don't hear echo. So I can fully enjoy this song too. I've listened to it about 100 times. It's freaking awesome. Okay, let's play Devin's song, shall we?
Shit-eating grin. It's Austin Martin. What's he saying? Nobody knows. Another psychotic episode. Oh, why are you crying? not gonna sway me.
Okay, that was good. I don't have Bunchy though here. Oh, and I needed the headphones for the LNC meeting too. So let me go back to my prior scene where I have Bunchy. I never put my lower third logo back up. All right, but we do need Bunchy. We definitely need Bunchy. And what I'm doing now is I have my laptop here because I am going to pull up LP Allies stream. Let me see if it's scheduled. Are they not doing a stream tonight? Because I don't see it. Oh my God, their cover image for The Curious Case of Censure is freaking awesome. I think it's got Sam Bowler, back of his head, as a psychiatrist with Austin Martin on the couch. Well, I'll keep an eye on this to see if they're going to have a stream. The reason why I'm just not in the LP Ally stream, I told them this, and I encourage everyone who's watching this one, if you're entertained or you just can't get enough of LNC business, go and watch their stream afterwards, or vice versa. The reason why I don't just watch their stream, there's two reasons. One, I've been doing LNC commentary now for 8 years. I stopped for a little while. That didn't mean I was going to stop personally. But here's the major reason, because I've got other things I could be doing on a Sunday night rather than being stuck in my basement. This is a JJ pontification free zone. So let me explain what I mean by that. Y'all may not know how this psychic vampire ended up in our party. You can blame me. When I was going through that stuff in 2021, I got an email from him out of the blue. You know, when you're in a situation where you feel like the world's against you, somebody writes you and they're like, oh, I'm an expert at such and such, or I didn't think he called himself an expert, but he is an expert. And I'm willing to help you for free. I mean, you jump on that. And he wormed his way into my life. I'm not going to tell the whole story of our quote unquote breakup again. It happened way before, well, not way before, but a couple months before my falling out with Angela and all of that. No, maybe it was around the same time as my falling out with Angela, but in any event, it was way before they tried to remove me again, which of course he was on their side because in my opinion, you know, I dared to quote unquote break up with him. It's not like we were dating, but break up with him as a friend. And something I figured out is he latches on to libertarian spaces. And as long as he gets the attention that he craves, he'll stick around. That's what psychic vampires do. None of this is a disparagement of his parliamentary abilities. I would never do that. He's a world-class parliamentarian. I just don't think he's a good person, and I don't want to be around him. So I do not go to the LP Allies stream because he's latched onto that space. And I firmly believe that libertarian spaces need to show him the door. I don't mean that literally as an expulsion or anything like that, because you know I don't believe in that. But in these voluntary discussion spaces, he's banned from this channel. And it will always be that way. However, sometimes he makes some points that I might want to respond to. So if they have a show, I'm going to have the show up on mute, and I'm going to keep an eye on the chat. Because if there's something that I think is just spin or BS, I'm going to give my opinion. Again, this is all opinion stuff, not having to do with any kind of disparagement of parliamentary abilities. He's one of probably the best parliamentarian I know, personally. Anyway, so that's the reason for that. Joe, let me know. I see Joe's in chat if you see them starting a stream. So now let's talk about some of the business. In case I can't live stream for some reason, at least I've gotten my opinion out there on the business. People who watch the stream that are involved with the LNC or anything to do with LNC business, if you do not have thick skin, you should depart right now. If I mean something personally, I'll make it very clear I mean it personally. But if I say a critique, I say critiques of people I like all the time, and I don't mean anything personal by it. So here's the first thing. Steve put on the business list a discussion of candidate support with C. Michael Pickens. I like C. Michael Pickens. He and I go way, way back. I could tell you one thing that kind of prejudices me against him a little bit, not personally, but just ideologically. He was pushing that dumb libertarian lion thing, and now that's been taken up by our disgraced former chair. So already that has a bad taste in my mouth. If they decide to do something with him, they might have to tell him you need to leave the freaking lion behind. Our mascot is the porcupine. Deal with it. Anyway, we are at a point right now where we can't afford to retread things that did not show success in the past. I know C. Michael does a lot with candidate support. He did a lot with candidate support in the past. Nationally, we haven't seen success with his methods. I'm sorry, that's just the truth. They did see success in Washington, but it did not translate nationally. If they're going to go back to old methods with candidate support, they should be talking to Apollo Pizzell. We had some success with the Frontier Project. Otherwise, I advocate for trying radically new things because the LNC is in desperate straits and we can't be backwards looking. See, Michael, I do not mean any disrespect by that. That's just my candid opinion, and I owe my listeners my candid opinion. Now, maybe he's got some fresh idea I haven't heard. So I remain open-minded, but I'm looking for fresh, radical things. And definitely nothing to do with any Liberty Penguin or Liberty Lion. The next thing, and Pat can be mad at me from last time. I like Pat, but Pat frustrates me. Pat frustrates me because he's a time hog. He thinks what he has to say is the most important thing. It's just how Pat is. He does a lot, though. That guy is a liberty activist monster. But the thing is, you can't monopolize time. He asked for 36 minutes on the agenda. Now, I don't think it's to discuss his item. I think it's to actually put his item into practice, but no one prepared for it. And calling it Pat's item isn't exactly fair. He put it on the agenda, but it came from a state chair in his region, a state chair who, to my knowledge, has never been on the LNC. And that does make a difference. That isn't to put anyone down. I do believe the idea was done with the utmost of good faith, but it's a terrible idea. It's a terrible, terrible idea. You kill it with fire or modify it. And I'll say how it can be modified. So the idea is, at the beginning of each of these monthly electronic meetings, each member of the LNC will do like this is what I did last summer, but rather be last month little report. It's supposed to be 1 to 2 minutes each. It won't be just 1 to 2 minutes each. Pat Ford alone will take up 10 minutes. And the secretary, when reports aren't in writing, is supposed to take it down almost nearly verbatim. And Evan isn't anyone's stenographer. Now, some people will go, you never did that. You're right. I didn't. I refuse to. I'm not a fucking court reporter. You have a report, you submit it in writing, and you ask if there's any questions on the report. That way members can go back to it. They don't need to listen to an entire meeting, and you're respecting everyone's time. This is a huge time waste and a huge disrespect of time. What I would support is if everyone had to do a short little written thing that went to the email list that the secretary could attach to the minutes and people could ask questions. These monthly meetings, I don't think people understand what they're for. Therefore, they were created to mostly eliminate email ballots. You want to know who originated the monthly meetings? I did. And I'm going to correct Evan a bit here too, because he keeps saying each time these monthly meetings come out, the chair called a meeting for October 5th. No, he didn't. We have a special rule of order that sets a monthly meeting for the first Sunday of every month. It's not at the call of the chair. It's set by special rule of order. I know that might seem nitpicking, but we are a national organization and we should get our verbiage right. I don't always. So I hope that that's taken as constructive criticism. But these meetings were to dispense with business that needed debate that couldn't adequately be done on the email list. A monthly status report of what each LNC member has been doing can be done on the email list. And it actually requires work to sit and write something down. You can more easily bullshit for 2 minutes. Joe said the live stream just popped up for 7:30. Let me refresh my screen because I want to. Yes, I see. Let me get that up here. I'm going to put it on mute because if there's any live comments there that I want to respond to here, you get the best of both worlds. I'm going to do that, but it's mostly because it's a JJ and Hector Roos free zone here. Though Hector, I wouldn't mind so much. He actually has roots in this party, even though I have feels. JJ doesn't. He just doesn't. In any event. So I hope that gets amended to written reports. I think that's a great idea. Wasting, if every LNC member does it for up to 2 minutes, does that include alternates? If it does, and it should, if this is to make sure they're doing things, then you're talking 50 minutes. These meetings are only supposed to be 2 hours, by the way. They are set by special rule of order to just be 2 hours. And they've just been going on, and now Pat wants to put more of that on people's Sunday nights. I'm sorry. That's absolutely and completely unreasonable. Now, the most interesting's probably the wrong word. The most entertaining thing will be is that Chadderdon just can't stop simping for Angela. And he's moving to rescind the Special Investigatory Committee report. All of the reasons are libelous against the SIC members. Okay, it's it's absolutely ridiculous. But he's going to try again. And what I want to point out now, Chadderdon wasn't on the LNC. At least I don't think he was at this time. Whoa, he was actually. I remember when all the Mises people were all lathered up and chopping at the bit because Todd and I were so opposed to the joint fundraising agreement, which is still of highly questionable legality. Don't think just because it's done, it's over with. Those requests for additional information by the FEC were not innocent. You don't make it go away just by answering it. The thing is, the FEC doesn't have quorum. They can't even decide if they think the response is sufficient. It's sitting on a commissioner's desk now. And they will decide, okay, yeah, that explanation is good or not. So they kept saying, you're relitigating things. This has already been decided, despite the fact that there was drastically changed circumstances when RFK Jr. dropped out and endorsed Trump, and they dogpiled us and said how horrible we were and how we're wasting everyone's time and trying to relitigate something, though you can renew these motions. But how the worm turns. How many times have the Mises people, and are still continuing to, trying to torpedo this report? It proves just absolute hypocrisy. So we're going to do that. And yeah, I'm going to put up here what Joe said. Yeah, Hector ran for governor. Again, Hector has roots in this party. I think he completely sold out and is a shell of his former self since the Kennedy stuff. But I respect his history in the party. Even if I don't respect him as a person, I certainly do not respect him ever since he started carrying water for Angela. With that appeal is so bad. I think it's raining out. I may be covering the appeal. Probably not. I haven't even written anything for it. So anyway, and Trendle and both Joe asked, am I going to the 2026 National Convention? I have a room. I'm not sure if I'm attending. I too have a room because I expect they will sell out. I don't know yet. It's more of a family discussion. The economy's bad, bro. And Wayne and I, now that I'm off the LNC, Wayne and I have the first opportunity in a decade for us to do family vacations. I travel all over the place, or had, so many times during the year that like I didn't really want to go anywhere else. And now I have my freedom. Thinking, there's a George Michael song. He wants to do something for us, maybe go to Vegas or whatever. So this is a discussion that we're having within the Harlow's household. I did reserve a room. I can tell you all of the forces of hell would not compel me to buy a ticket. Nope. Nope. Well, let me tell you one thing that might cause me to want to buy a ticket. Steve apologizing for absolutely ignoring a harassment complaint and what he put me through. If he apologizes for that, I'd consider buying a ticket. The buck stops with the chair. I could be mad at a lot of other people on the LNC, but I let it go. I let it go. Everyone knows that I had a little thing with Paul. I let it go. Paul and I are talking. I let it go. Buck stops with the chair. And the chair face planted so bad that honestly, I don't ever want to see him again until he apologizes. And he won't. He won't. He won't. Even though that is actually, despite what the manosphere will tell you, that is actually a very testosterone thing to do, to own up to your failures. And Joe, yeah, you don't have to buy a ticket. If I go, I'm not buying a ticket. Unless Steve apologizes. If Steve apologizes, then I'll consider it because it'll be something worth supporting. And I'm not saying the party isn't. Look, I got these, like the milky nail polish on, the clean girl manicure. That's all in style. But the buck stops with the chair. And this is the third time he stabbed me in the back. Sorry, I'm a fool, but I'm not a 4-time fool. Okay, we are getting up to the meeting. So let's see if I can get this streamed. Yeah, Trendlin, the convention is going to eat Steve alive. I said this on Twitter, and I'm sure because it's a big ego boost to chair the national convention. If the LNC were wise, they would vote to hire a professional presider that has zero connection with the Libertarian Party. That's the only way this convention is not going to be a complete goat rodeo. Okay, I'm trying to find here it is. So let me go into the Zoom room. That's what I'm doing right now. People won't like who I would say would be the best person to chair if it has to be somebody within the LP. And that would be Nick Sarwark. No matter what you think of Nick, he is the best convention chair I'd ever seen. Okay, it says they're waiting. It's waiting for me. So we shall see. Oh, connecting. Okay. Let me try to share this.
I don't want to take credit for it, but we definitely were part of their initial rise to where they are today. So we're kind of optimistic that we might be able to actually like bring some of these people to justice, which would be incredible. So we'll see how it goes.
That's cool, Mr. Martin. I love that you're helping Hawaii do better.
He seems a little sane.
When I was running for city commissioner, I had a few of my constituents reach out to me and said, "Hey, your name wasn't on the ballot." I said, "What?" I went down to one of the precincts.
They need to start meetings on time.
The person there, even though I wasn't supposed to, they told me I couldn't be there, but they were giving out the wrong ballot to certain people on accident, with the full
just
city
keeping
and
an
not
eye
the
on the
precinct, so they weren't getting to vote on the city commissioner. So you got to watch, even if it's legit. You got to watch.
Oh, well, this is like a different kind of thing. This is more like the chief elections officer and the attorney generals are caught, not just not enforcing the laws, but actually facilitating massive discrepancies between the state and county voter lists, among other things, and then obstructing investigations and basically committing as the state defines it, what
who are
appears to
not
be
Austin
election
supporters
fraud,
in Hawaii,
statutory
how
election
they
fraud.
feel.
So when
because
an
of course,
official election worker,
I put them on mute for a second. I would like to hear from people in Hawaii who do not support Austin as to what they think of his efforts. It's easy to self-promote, and everything he's saying could be absolutely true. I have no idea, but it's very, very easy to self-promote. And there's a proverb that says, one man seems right until the other pleads his case. Okay, I'm going to put him back on.
How to appeal the ruling of the chair. And here's a copy of Robert's Rules.
You don't know Robert's Rules,
I will
Austin.
say one thing. Being on the LNC and libertarianism in general is all of our people know Robert's Rules better than anybody.
Certainly better than you do, Steve.
So Aaron Starr out in California is giving his city commission hell right now.
Yeah, Aaron knows Roberts
Once we
very
get
well.
in, we're unstoppable because we've been trained by fire. Like the people they send here, they give us the best training. So when we really get in, if any of us gets through, right, we are anti-corruption rock stars.
I'm ready for you. Mr. DeCale, you will be thrilled to understand that just a few short weeks ago, I lectured our state's Public Utilities Commission on Robert's Rules. I'm deeply afraid. What have you done to me?
We created a monster.
Pat doesn't know Robert's Rules. Sorry, he doesn't.
Libertarians
recording in progress.
Our own parliamentarians. All right. It is Sunday, October 5th
Steve
at
knows it better
7:34
than
p.m.
Pat
This
does.
is Stephen Akela, chairman of the Libertarian National Committee, and I'm going to be calling this special monthly LNC meeting to order. Mr. Secretary, well, actually, hold on. Before we do that, no, Mr. Secretary, go ahead with roll call, please.
Mr. Bowler.
Present.
Mr. Bost. And Mr. Dar, if you can, your co-host, if you can watch to let people in.
As I said before, I really like
Bost.
that he does it as a spreadsheet.
Mr. Chadderdon.
That's a really good way to do it.
Present.
Mr. Wiley.
Wiley never shows up. He
Vice
posts
Chair Dar.
once every
Present.
2
Mr.
months
Dassey.
on the LNC list as a sarcastic comment.
Mr.
He
Dassey.
does nothing.
Mr. Bracco.
Neither of those two have been
Mr.
showing up
Bracco.
lately, too. Region 5 definitely has not
Mr.
sent their
Ford.
best. Why don't they resign, or why doesn't
Mr.
Region 5
Weir.
remove them?
Mr. Weir. Miss Hayes.
Here.
Mr. Neville.
Present.
Mr. Lamb.
That's another one who doesn't show up
Mr.
very
Lamb.
often. Unfortunately, he
Martin.
lost his recall
Aloha.
election.
Mr. McGee.
Present.
Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson. I am present. Mr. Nana. Mr. Nana. Mr. Hirsch.
Here.
Treasurer Redpath.
Yes.
Mr. Thompson.
Here.
Miss Ca-
I'm going to respond to something Phil Ryan said in the LP Allies chat. People who hate on Roberts, they have no idea how much their rights are being protected. If you think all it's good for is parliamentary warfare, you have never been in a minority that needed to be protected. Hush your mouth. You don't know what you're talking about there.
Mr. Chair, I have 13 present. 13 voting members present.
All right. We have quorum. Public comment, but
Yes.
Mr. Chadderdon and Mr. Dar, we typically don't do board members speaking. So
Not
I'm
if
actually just going
there's
to go
something
ahead
they could
and
have
go
on
to
the agenda.
next item on the agenda, which is the adoption of
Steve
the
is
agenda.
correct.
The chair will now seek a motion to adopt the agenda.
Steve
Mr.
is
Chair, I
correct.
move to amend the agenda to strike item 5B. Mr. Watkins, I don't believe is here. He sent an
Right, and
email
he
to the
asked-
list
he asked for
saying
that
that he
too.
would be okay with deferring this to another meeting. I agree it is not an urgent matter, and I think it would be best deferred. I don't think it needs to be addressed, and I think it would be better to have Mr. Watkins be at the meeting since this is his item.
Point of information, Mr. Chair.
We will need to adopt and second the agenda prior. Mr.
Point of information, Mr. Chair. It would take 2/3 to strike it from the agenda because it was a noticed thing. Otherwise, when we adopt the agenda, when that item comes up, I had planned on making a motion to table it until the next meeting.
That's not correct, Evan.
You can do that. I will defer to you, Mr. Secretary.
That is not correct,
and I
Evan.
move to adopt the agenda.
Is there a second?
Evan, that's not correct.
I had my hand raised to be recognized prior to that for an amendment.
Mr. Chadderdon, you're recognized.
That's not correct,
I wanted to
Evan.
propose to amend the agenda to move new business item E to the start of new business.
Evan often speaks very, very authoritatively on something that he should raise a point of order to the chair to, and the chair should answer it.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second.
All right, we'll move on to discussion. Would anybody like to be recognized for discussion? Mr. Chadderdon, would you like to speak on that?
I appreciated the general request that was made, and I think that's a great proposal for us to consider doing that. I think it would be most suitable to happen at the beginning of the new business, or as early as we otherwise could fit that onto the agenda.
What is
anybody else who can be recognized?
Oh, it's Pat Ford's thing.
Going once.
This is it's Pat. I'm sorry. What started as one request from one state chair has, I wouldn't say viral, but I've gotten 4 or 5 state chairs who've filled in from around the country.
It's a bad idea for the reason I said, but I'm sure it will pass.
We have a tendency to run long. Thank you.
Mr. Martin?
I'll be swift. This is a really great idea, and I totally support it. It's really great to be able to.
I'm sure it's probably going to pass without objection, but it's not a good idea.
What we're doing, and totally think that kind of check-in is should be a norm. I really like it, and I'm implementing something similar in my own board.
All right.
I think Wizard of Blizzard has it right.
Yep. Well, I mean, unless there's objection.
Is there any objection to moving item E to A in new business?
I agree with Wizard of Blizzard here.
Going once, going twice, going 3 times. It is unanimous. Item E is now
unanimous is not the same as without objection.
Are there any further, is anybody else seeking to be recognized on the agenda?
That can be important, but it's not the same.
Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Discussion is closed. Is there any objection to the agenda as amended? Hearing none, agenda is adopted. All right, so standing item number 4 is Convention Oversight Committee report, 10 minutes. Mr. Ford, you have the floor, sir.
Yes, sir, and I will be uncharacteristically brief because I want to give Mr. McGee an opportunity to weigh in. Forgive my voice. I was down actually with Florida men, literally, last week, advancing the convention in the deepest, reddest territory imaginable. Anyway, we continue. I like to describe this period. We're in the grind it out stage. What do I mean by that? Well, a good chunk of the website
sure I would have used that term after what we just saw.
More detailing complete and up on the site. We've arrived at pricing for all of that.
Said.
Now is when we need to get people to sign up for hotel rooms. We're closing in, by my calculation, about 20%. If you were to go to the calculator on the website, the host websites, it doesn't include reserved rooms, bulk rooms. So we're closing in on 20%, which means to everyone listening here, please get your rooms. We've got about 750 rooms total for projected attendance of around 1,000. Based on past trends, that means, and I'm looking at DC, we'll run out towards the end. I would hate to have people have to pay market rates. It's a significant difference, $139 a night versus already over $200.
They're supposed to be discussing Pat's motion, I thought.
So we're in the grinded out phase. We've got commitments from actually Money in House, I believe, from 14 different tables.
Was there a second to his motion?
We've got total about 80.
This is what I said, where Pat doesn't know.
Which we've never sold that many
moved
before,
up?
but,
wasn't it Pat's motion? Is he giving a convention oversight committee report right now?
If there's someone that you in the membership or you on the board feels like should contact.
Doing? Is he giving an update as to what he did? The motion to do that hasn't passed.
But this is the time to tell me, because this is the time people are making their schedules for late spring. So I'm open to any and all suggestions. A couple of really interesting thoughts have come up as things to do. We're still looking at what kind of major event we're going to have on Saturday night. I think one of the fun aspects is to have a free speech kind of rant area where people will be asked to donate a few dollars. It'll be running all day,
what the fuck's
every
going
day,
on?
where people can get up and, well, hopefully not of a personally insulting manner, but let's just say, but aggressive, free speech.
Remember what I
on
said
any one of a
before
number of
about
geopolitical
Pat?
or national issues. You know, issues like that we're going to have a lot of fun with. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. McGee. The focus of tonight is going to be on what we're going to do for 2028.
So did they move the convention oversight committee report first? Is that what they did?
And the process that's going to accomplish.
To me, what they moved forward was Pat's motion about
a number of cities and towns.
Am I wrong?
Municipal libertarian groups have reached out saying they want to have the convention at their hometown. And I will tell you that the people in Tennessee have been particularly aggressive
going on
at getting information to us. But there is a form,
almost 5 minutes now.
Reach out to me or Mr. McGee.
I thought we moved. My God.
You know, let us know so that we can get you paperwork. I want to stress this, and I want to be positive about this.
Oh my God.
We can't have people just calling up and saying, you know, hey, listen, I live in Tuscaloosa.
I'm going to do a Bill Redpath
a wonderful place. That's where we need to have our convention.
Nevada convention.
Tuscaloosa, by the way.
I'm going to combust.
That isn't good enough. We need you to actively engage with your convention as visitors bureaus and get them the paperwork and information so that we can make a rational decision. So it just isn't a suggestion box. This is a working project with a lot of details. And on a final note, if you go to the convention website, you'll see for the first time ever, we've got a text helpline. That we put up for people who have concerns or issues
this
or confusion
speech by
or chaos.
Ford could have been an email.
I'm going to drop the secret.
Exactly.
That goes to one of my 5 cell phones.
Exactly.
Okay? And a number of Weisenheimers, that's what my nuns would have called them, have already called to see and just text me help. And I'll get back to everybody. And one person in particular was stunned that I called them back. And then I think he had a stretch for a legitimate question, which was fine. It's all in good spirit. But we have a text line set up. It's on the website. You have questions or confusion, call us.
I don't think
we're trying to get everybody there.
Site.
So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. McGee.
They were having Zoom issues. I don't think they got the porno.
Well, thank you, Mr. Ford, for that introduction. Mr. Ford is very much correct.
I don't know where we're at in this convention.
Prior to finalizing the RFP,
I thought they were on Pat's motion
because of the because we finally agreed on a date. That's set to go out. Prior to putting the RFP together, I worked on a brief study.
I guess we're in convention oversight committee report. I thought we were on Pat's
areas
motion.
That would be.
I think everyone else thought we were on Pat's motion, judging by the comments.
Flight prices to and from a destination, average hotel prices, event fees, resort fees, and.
Sorry, I'm muting McGee for a second because I want to compliment him. McGee has grown so much into his role. Been very impressed with his responses to the JC. He's going on about RFPs for next time. He's worked really hard on the convention committee.
The day, the focus here is on getting the best value proposition. And I understand, again, there are a number of states like Tennessee and Texas that are really on the ball right now and would really like to have it there. And so as soon as this meeting closes, I will be posting the RFP to the public
said
list
it would have been an
and
ebook
encourage
if Pat wrote
everyone
it out.
Who wants to have the 2028 convention in their hometown to send the RFP to whomever they think will put it in a bid, because at the end of the day, we really want the best value proposition for the 2028 convention. So that's all I have.
All right. Are there any questions from the body?
Blur a part of a video, because I am going to have to private this afterwards.
Going on.
And do something with that clip.
If I could just throw one more very quick point in, we've established, and you should be seeing information about going out about this, a series of classes with the Leadership Institute, spearheaded by Nathan Fatal. A lot of us are familiar with him and his work. Those will be Saturday morning and Sunday morning before the session opens. And number 2, we're going to be having another track, and it's going to be on Saturday and Sunday right before lunch. Or as I say, during lunch. The important thing about this training is it's not your sort of run-of-the-mill campaign.
So that's what I'm going to do.
An awful lot of good efforts put out for that type of training over the years.
So right after this, I'm going to have to blur
I think the one that I'm more interested in, and please go to the website, and you'll start to see this stuff appear over the next day or so, is going to be on how to what I call the care and feeding of volunteers.
I'll save that.
We will spend a 2-day track, total of 3 hours in classroom. Some pretty aggressive training on why people volunteer, how to get them to volunteer, how to track their progress, how to assign them to work that they love.
Let me tell you one way you don't keep people volunteering.
It was my highlight for the week.
The chair of the party doesn't ignore harassment complaints. He doesn't allow members of the LNC to make sexually suggestive comments to members.
So, you know, and it's a type of course where we could literally have
call me crazy
signed up for each. And that's how aggressively I want to promote this. We're going to be asking the convention. Forgive me, my voice is shot. Briefly, we're going to be asking affiliate support about sending out the letter to state chairs so that they can potentially sponsor some of their people to go through this training. So it's going to be pretty unique, and I think it's going to be pretty special. So I encourage everyone to look at that. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ford.
I guess we weren't on his motion.
All right, barring any questions, we'll move on to new business with previous notice.
I guess I was wrong.
Item A is request for a 2-minute volunteer report from each member. So I'll allow members to raise their hand from the board, and when called upon, I'll set a timer for 2 minutes. You can give your report.
That was a motion to vote upon doing that. Steve, what the hell are you doing?
It's been a while since I've given a last chair report in Grand Rapids.
Motion
I guess I'll start with the finances.
Never mind.
Wait, point of order, Steve. I think that's not what this is.
Yes.
Is that not what this is? I thought this was everybody.
You have to move to do that.
It's a request to actually implement this in the future.
Yes, Meredith.
No, it's not.
Yes, it was.
I'm sorry.
It is.
Yes,
it is to give the reports.
Okay.
Oh, my apologies. I'm sorry.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
No worries.
Me and Meredith understood it the right way.
Real quick on the financial front and fundraising. Archimedes 2.0, aka the Parody Project, which is being spearheaded in large part by staff.
Did he say
Perry
the
Willis,
Parody
Kennedy,
Project?
Matt Hudson.
Oh, Parody,
the whole staff have basically cleared their
PARITY?
schedules to focus primarily on this project. We started off with a few targeted mailers. This is actually pre-Parody Project. We spent about $3,800 on mailers. We made $40,000 in return.
From one max
we sent out another mailer that's going out soon. And once that goes out, we're going to start the Parody Project officially. We partnered with a company called Ironlight.
At least it wasn't Freedom Calls.
They're very, very good. We actually just hired them to clean up our data, which has been messed up for years. So we're finally getting a professional company to come in and sweep up our data. We have about 1 million data points, 1 million records. A lot of it's duped. It's not usable. We only send our emails out to about 15,000 people. We're going to be cleaning up that entire list. So if we get 150,000, 200,000, 500,000,
about the LNC, I don't want them to fail.
40, 50x
I definitely do not want them to
membership
fail.
database in our CRM, which is very, very important.
There's certain people I never want to see on the LNC again.
Stage 2 is renting
the LNC or the party
700,000 registered libertarians that we know of nationwide, and the 33
so
states
this
that have voter
idea, all of
registration,
this is good.
using their information to essentially target them for the Parody Project. So they're going to be getting emails, texts, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google AdSense, etc. with this Parody Project.
I didn't want to sit through 40 minutes of this.
Project to
not
be
him,
at parity with
reports.
Republicans and Democrats in terms of
really
fundraising, membership, and visibility within the next 10 years. So I'm very excited about it. That was a part of our pitch in the newsletter. It made us a lot of money. Wow, I'm almost out of time. Other than that, I'll just say really briefly, I was able to get a lot of earned media, especially after the whole Elon Musk thing. Got to talk to Axios, Daily Mail. I spoke with Nigel Farage on his show in the UK.
Musk
I
will
spoke with
get
Bill
you
O'Reilly. I
earned
spoke
media.
with CNN. Just a lot of different media outlets. It was very, very exciting.
Elon Musk is not a libertarian, and we shouldn't be dropping our drawers for Elon Musk in the same way we shouldn't drop our drawers for RFK Jr.
That's kind of my 2 minutes.
Trump.
I'll leave it there, and we'll go next to Mr. Martin and then Mr. Dar. Mr. Martin, go ahead.
Hey there, guys. How we doing? So I have a few things. I'll try to rattle through what I can. I've definitely been doing some work on implementing Project Overwatch.
Oh my God, it's going to be
a support committee
a
that's
musical.
adopted it as its new home, so that's great. We'll be focusing on recruiting some talent and moving things forward that way. I've arranged meetings with legislators for Defend the Guard, especially in Hawaii, and it looks like it's going to pass, so we're really excited about that. I've arranged support for other legislative activism in Region 1, and we have Region 1 states that are gearing up for some pretty cool legislative fights and some pretty important ones. Eyes on New Mexico for one of those. We definitely are going to be working on more of that and trying to get kind of
very calm tonight, though.
Trained in how to do effective
Give him that
legislative activism, not just doing public
even though he tried to reverse DARVO,
convincing the decision makers to change their minds. When you can identify them anyway. Represented the LNC in multiple testimonies before the Hawaii Elections Commission, righting a previous wrong, and we are moving ahead with that. We're really excited. Those are available on YouTube. I'll probably get some clips and go ahead and publish those out as well. So there's a lot of support for us on that. We have a lot of very happy constituents on that front. Let's see, we have ongoing conversations and support for our Region 1 states. There's definitely a lot of division and frustration in the party right now. So we're trying to...
I wonder why that is.
And,
it must be George Soros.
Working with the state chairs who want it. We've been helping the New Mexico chair, of course, with the situation over the last few weeks, which is really quite troubling. You know, you guys are surely aware we stopped an attempted overthrow, a nationally coordinated overthrow of the Hawaii affiliate. That was pretty cool. And yeah, we're investigating and dealing with corruption kind of on all levels and moving forward on having a better LP and a better, cleaner political environment for us to operate in. And so salt and light all the way. I don't want to take up too much time. Am I at 2 minutes? I wasn't really.
We're at 2 minutes.
Much love.
Next is Mr. Dar.
All right. So like the chair said, Project Archimedes, aka the Parody Project, has been beginning to launch there. We did get a max donation towards that and other fundraising opportunities.
I'm glad he mentioned
many meetings
that out of that
working
was a max donation. Max donations are great, but you need to mention that.
At this point, it took a lot of sweat and tears to get it there. Let me see. Previously, I was averaging 3 to 4 daily meetings for the party, between just different committees and different staff meetings and just fixing different things there. I'm trying to drop it down to an average of 2 meetings per day just to make it more manageable for my family. I've called in excess of 1,000 people. I do at least 100 calls a month on behalf of the party there, calling different people, leaving messages there. So that's just what I'm working through there. I also am I was also able to recruit a new commission-based fundraiser. I'll be following up and helping to mentor this person
that Freedom
in the future,
Causes?
and anyone that needs help working on that.
I'm just
doing
messing.
that for a little bit there. Let me see. I've also been working on the December LNC meeting. We got several different bids there on the reviewed. I believe we brought it down to 1 and just need to get down some of the details. I do have 2 speakers already lined up for that. Mike Surtek from the Advocates for Self-Government and Dr. Mary Ruert. Let me see. Also, we have the LNC bylaws. This is one of those meetings that I've been doing. We do have a public list at the Google public list. If you just go to the normal URL, LNC-bylaws-committee, we'll get you to that list and you can find where you can see our meetings and all that. And we got lifetime pins out, though there were some issues with mailings going with that, and staff will be working on that. Otherwise, I just a lot of things. If you ever get a message from me, I do go on to the staff calls. I try to get on to at least one of them a day, but I don't always reach that. But so I get an average of a minimum of 3 a week. And so if you get random messages from me about stuff to contact Hannah, it is stuff that she's brought up in those meetings. I think that's around my 2 minutes there. So thank you all. You can also get this all. I have a newsletter, paul.dar.org/newsletter, where I put all this in a report every month. And I do a members meeting at the beginning of the month that's also listed there. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Dar. Next up is Mr. Chadderdon. Then Mr. Ford, Mr. Chadderdon.
Thanks very much. I've been up to a lot recently. We've been doing some really great efforts in Michigan, trying to work on some coalition activism, particularly around the Bitcoin crowd. It's been a little bit since this happened, but one of the cooler events that was done was getting out to our state capitol and doing some legislative activism. There was with a group that we went around and I think met with the offices of around 15 different state legislators in one day, and then held a offsite barbecue from their um, office building where we had about 5 different legislators in attendance at that. I can't take direct credit for that event or anything putting that together, but I participated along with that and was very inspired by it and
yes,
trying to work closer with the people who did put that on.
At the same time.
Additionally, I think one of the more important things that I've been doing is working, as Mr. Martin alluded to,
how do you cite the
to support
tinted pages?
Our state affiliates in the region, particularly New Mexico. I think it's really critical that we are working with and protecting our recognized affiliate there. We invested over $50,000 in to fight for their ballot access last election cycle, and at this time, the state has not honored that, successfully acquired ballot access. So it's really important that we stand with them and help them secure that victory. Additionally, they're fighting against legislation in their state in which they are trying to have a proposal that puts forward changes that will attack parental rights as well as medical autonomy, potentially forcing medical treatments on children around the state through a large fund there.
I can't find
and hopefully we can help them take care of some of their other issues that they've got going on there so that they can focus their resources and efforts as a state towards fighting those meaningful battles at the state level, where it's really critical. I think we can do a large part to stand with them and make sure that they have the support they need, as I think they're under attack by some subversive interests that are Democrat aligned, and potentially some sympathizers around that in the party.
Oh, cut it out.
So I think it's really critical, and I hope we can see a successful outcome to the Business on Tonight's agenda for that, to make sure that we can keep our state affiliates supported and able to keep fighting the critical battles and things like legislation and ballot access to be able to operate as a political party and get that work done.
Because I don't know.
So aside from that, I just hope we can continue to fight for ethical, honest action as a board and move things along productively and cohesively as a party, as opposed to some of the things we've seen. Thanks.
Next is Mr. Ford.
First of all, thank you everyone for having clearly put a lot of time into this. I appreciate that. Well, folks, as you can imagine, the convention takes up most of my libertarian day, but let me run through a list of things we did this month, and we hope to replicate next month.
This is going way
I
better
testified with
than I thought,
members of the Massachusetts Libertarian Party at a Massachusetts Joint House-Senate hearing on military affairs.
If everyone digs
support
it, listen,
of Defend the Guard
I'll be the first
at the
to say,
Massachusetts
okay.
State House.
Okay.
Everybody
hey,
was
Dave,
on
how
the
you doing?
game.
I see you over in the allies,
person and remote, depending on geography.
Can we stop those
we left with new
childish
friends.
little floating emojis?
Actually, all of us got additional questioning
national
from the staff
party meeting
and committee members, senators, and legislators. And all in all, we walked away looking like pros. And it was just actually, I'll tell you, it was one of my proudest moments in my entire time at the Libertarian Party. And I salute Mr. Kennedy and Mr. Brand and the entire team there for doing that. I was a guest speaker at the Libertarian Party affiliates of Orange, Dutchess, Ulster, Westchester, Putnam, and Columbia counties in support of our national convention. I attended the Libertarian Party of Maine annual picnic, spoke in support of affiliate independence, as well as the national convention.
That does a lot.
I spoke at the annual Day of Peace at the Rhode Island State House as guest of sponsors of the Working Families Party and the Party for Social Liberation, as well as several other local activist groups. And of course, I spoke about the Defend the Guard legislation as a way of meeting their ends, which of course is the industrial war state. I spoke in front of the Rhode Island Transportation Authority board, RE crony corporatism, draining from the support of public resources, instead to various pet projects of theirs. I also got to lecture them, Mr. DeCala, on all the benefits of actually following Robert's Rules of Order. A project that we've going on that I think libertarians will love. Last year, myself and other groups got together and we actually engaged in a semi-hostile takeover of the Providence City Council chambers and turned it into a homeless shelter. This year, what we're doing is we're organizing ahead of time with area churches and certain political groups to actually create that same environment where we have control. I'm doing it right now. I can coordinate 10 to 12 deliveries of bulk water to homeless encampments, meal kitchens, and food pantries around Rhode Island every month. Got hot here all of a sudden. Holy cow. I met with the Working Party's family to discuss our legislation to reform party formation laws. I met with the Secretary of State and the House Speaker, already the same legislation. I also serve as the chair of the Libertarian Party of Rhode Island. We've engaged in complete rework of our CRM, as well as having a positive, open to all, regardless of your political, ethnic, religious background, economic background, a free speech event in early November, which we'll have, and we'll be certain to send you pictures. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Ford. Next is Mr. Redpath.
Yes, just want to say that the Arkansas petition drive will be done probably in a couple of weeks. I'm not exactly sure when they'll do. There are about 11,600 gross signatures. They need 10,000 net. They think that through paid and volunteer, there'll be close to 13,000 gross signatures in a couple of weeks. Based on the validity rate check, that should be enough, but they're going to be ultra careful, make sure they only get one turn in, and so they want to make sure that works. The other thing is I am working with the Maryland LP treasurer to put together a plan for an ask for LNC financial help for the Maryland petition drive. They have a fair amount of money there, but not enough to complete the drive. I'm going to be working on a plan, and that will be forthcoming shortly for consideration to make sure that there are sufficient resources to successfully complete the Maryland LP drive, and that's it.
Next is Mr. Buller.
Yes, I'll be brief. I have been attending the IS committee meetings, the Historical Preservation Committee meetings. I've been working on the direct my funds to feature that we voted on at a previous meeting to implement on our donation page. Currently, it's in staging and just needs to be tested. And then
Sam always looks sharp.
The treasury side of
Everyone
things.
Should be,
but from the technical standpoint,
and
it's
everything to
pretty good and
meeting.
ready to go.
Even if I was wearing jeans on the bottom, at least on the top.
Is Miss? Actually, I think Mr.
The chair
Thompson
should be in a
Ms. Coward.
suit.
Mr. Thompson.
Hey, so I'm helping multiple local affiliates and some I'm sorry, some state and local affiliates with their messaging, marketing, design, some print materials. I'm trying to form some new local affiliates and reach out to new members. I try to respond to anyone that reaches out to me, and I am desperately trying to get new people involved in the party.
Supporting you, Keith.
Thank you, Ms. Coward.
Miss.
Hello. I sit on 2 committees on the LNC right now. I am on the employee policy and compensation committee, and then as well as the financial standards committee. So for the EPCC, that's pretty much going fairly well oiled at this point. So that is myself, Mr. Watkins, and Mr. Bost. We are tracking all of the contracts for all of our contractors and staff, making sure that we have current ones on file, and whenever we have a contract that is coming due, making sure that we're working proactively with Ms. Hannah Kennedy, our executive director, to make sure that we always have the latest and greatest on file. So we have reviewed a few contracts, including a new contract fundraiser that Mr. Dar referenced, and then as well as some new contracts for existing contractors that had come up to expiration. So getting those re-upped. So everything is going well there. With the EPCC, kind of the next thing is working on Q4 annual performance reviews. So kind of walking that line there. Definitely don't want to get into the staff lane. I mean, we want Hannah to manage her staff, but there is a item in our EPCC policy manual that says that we will, kind of work to identify what that process is going to look like as far as what those annual performance reviews will look like. So we have asked Hannah to kind of put that together as far as
this
what
is now an
she
EPCC
envisions,
report.
and then we'll kind of workshop
all that
from
really
there.
needed
So
to be
more to
said
come on
is that
that.
I
But
am
again,
doing work with the
EPCC is really just aiming
EPCC
to kind of support staff there
and
and
not
not be
say what all
prescriptive in how that works.
all the work
Obviously,
is.
that's Hannah's
That's
bag.
part of
As far as the
why
Financial Standards Committee goes, we are
I
still
wasn't in
ramping
favor of
up.
this. This is supposed
We
to
have
be.
a draft going
Never
of
mind.
a
I
policy
adore
manual for the
Jesse. I'm not
Financial
gonna.
Standards Committee with
not gonna
items such
pick
as,
nits.
how do we approve expenditures? Does it, take all three of us? Does it take two of us? Just things like that. We do have a new expenditure
It would take a majority
request
vote.
form
That's
that
what it
has
would
been
take.
shared with staff. Hannah's used it for the first time. I need to make sure that once we
and a majority
finalize that, we
vote
get
has
that
to be within a certain period of time, which under the bylaws would be 7 days.
Mr. Ford,
unless...
certainly for the convention committee, but Hannah has it for staff, and then we'll need to get it to Mr. McMahon.
That one would
well,
be a
so
bit tricky. I'd have to think about
shared
that.
With the LNC,
but a one person could be a
policy
majority
committee,
if the other
policy
two
manual
abstain.
for the FSC is still in progress. That being said, we have actually approved a couple of expenditures. Chair Nikayla mentioned the Iron Light effort that's going on right now. So that was an expenditure that was approved by the FSC, as well as round 2 of the mailers. So Mr. Nikayla mentioned that we had, what was it, like $3,600 or something like that, that we had approved for the first one, and ended up getting, $40,000 ROI on that. So based on the
decided they
really
could keep
good
the building
performance
fund.
of that initial one, FSC
that
went ahead
will allow the seed money
approved to roll the dice on the $6,500
for this
investment
fundraising
on
to
a
keep the
second
party
round of
alive.
that. So we're very anxious
Without
to see
that,
how that goes.
I think we'd go bankrupt.
Nothing more on the horizon right now from an FSC perspective. But then again, Mr. Ford, please keep us aware of any expenses. If there's going to be any kind of like AV stuff coming from a convention perspective, that we make sure that we fast track those things and get that in front of the FSC. Other than that, just at a state level, as far as the affiliates, obviously I'm vice chair of LP Texas. So a lot of the work that I do is Texas related. So I've written a couple of op-eds. So I wrote an op-ed for the Houston Chronicle regarding the Texas redistricting effort that the Republicans pulled off at the
type of stuff.
legislative session that just ended. I actually have just submitted another op-ed. They actually reach out to me now to write op-eds rather than me pitching them. So that's been kind of nice. A bit about the ICE raids that have been happening. So hopefully we'll get a little bit more publication there. And then actually just this weekend, I just got home today from, I was at a rally at the Texas Capitol yesterday for a rally for a gentleman who is scheduled to be executed on October 16th of this month. So we were rallying for the life of Robert Robertson. He is, it's not just we are against the death penalty, though certainly LP Texas calls for the abolishment of the death penalty. In this case, this man is absolutely innocent. So this is something the LP Texas Executive Committee voted on late last year, and we've been very involved in this case. So I think that's all the news that's fit to print for right now.
All right. Thank you very much, Jesse. Thanks. Next is Ms. Hayes, and then Mr. McKee. Ms. Hayes.
Hi. So we have a couple interesting things going on in California, specifically these 2 interesting lawsuits. We've got one that we filed challenging the voter roll maintenance. Essentially, through some review, we learned that there was, I forget what the numbers are, but something crazy, like 21 counties in the state only removed like 5 people from their voter roll registrations last year. And there was a couple, I think maybe I'm getting 5 wrong, but I think there was 5 that removed nobody from their voter roll. So we have that lawsuit going on. Judicial Watch helped us bring that. Now they were dismissed from the lawsuit due to lack of standing, but LPCA is still involved, and that's going forward. We also have a lawsuit
did a case with Judicial Watch
challenging the top 2 jungle primary process. That's going to case management in October. An interesting thing happened, though. There was a hearing a couple of months ago where whomever was arguing for the Secretary of State said something.
Can mute Meredith for a second. She's also doing it wrong. Just like it's not supposed to be a committee report, it's also not supposed to be a report of what's going on in your region. From what I understand, it's supposed to be a report of what you personally were doing. She's saying all great stuff that California is doing, but it's supposed to be what she personally is doing. The idea was members to justify why they're on the LNC, basically.
Ms. Hayes, next is Mr. McGee.
So I'm going to keep this very brief. As I've already basically regaled everyone about my activities on the Convention Oversight Committee regarding the 2028 convention. What I will say is that in the past month, I've authored my 6th LNC respondent brief. That's got to be a record. And has prompted much wailing and gnashing of teeth, but that's neither here nor there. That's all I have to report.
McGee did a good job.
Thank you, Mr. McGee. Mr. Ford and Ms. Hayes, you have your hands up. Mr. Ford?
Yeah, Ms. Coward, that sounds amazing. We would love to see your op-eds. I would love to share them if you'll allow me in my little media.
This is exactly the rabbit trails that these are going to start going off, and Pat's using this now.
The death penalty is very real and is actually emerging again from the hell it should belong in.
Pat likes to hear himself talk. So do I. That's why I have a YouTube channel.
Thank you.
So no shade, just an observation.
Sorry, I just realized I forgot to mention something real quick that I think might be helpful for other states, counties, or whatever, if you don't do this already. But my county party has been having some sort of joint meetings and commiserations with the Taxpayers Association of our county. And one of our members, Mark Jaffe, is actually responsible for getting a bunch of bond measures to fail.
That is not
the Taxpayers Association people are very, very helpful and well organized. So I think they're a good ally. If you have something like that in your state or county,
what
I think
you are
should
doing
be trying to arrange meetings
as
with them
an LNC member, because
partner.
members are frustrated that LNC members are just doing a bunch of cat fighting.
Thank you very much,
and
everybody.
Not doing anything. That was
Mr.
my
McMahon, do you want to be
understanding.
recognized?
Yeah, just point of personal privilege. Mr. Chadderdon, I sent you an email just a few minutes ago. If you can take a look at it and let me know.
Yes.
Just response via email if you can.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much for the reports. I think that was really good, actually. So something to consider for the future. All right. So next up is discussion with Mr. Michael Pickens.
They're now an hour.
Support.
No, not
I believe
an hour.
Mr. Pickens is here in the
45
audience.
minutes,
He reached out to me a few weeks ago. He's got some things I want him to present us with on the topic of candidate support and things that may be useful for us as a body. So, Mr. Pickens, if you're here, I'll let you take the floor.
This should go to the candidate support committee. Who then
is there any way I can
reports to
share
the
my
LNC.
screen? Host is disabled screen sharing.
For good reason. No.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Oh God, I've seen all that before.
I'm sorry for everyone that has dealt with that in the past. So for those of you who don't know me, I see a lot of familiar faces. It's good to see everyone again. I've written a book called Libertarian Leadership back in 2014. I've written a campaign success coach. I've coached hundreds of candidates. I've helped lots of candidaats lose with dignity.
I wasn't
and a handful
aware.
of candidates win their elections. So that's how I like to.
I wasn't
put
aware
it.
of that workbook. I'd be interested in
2014
that.
through 2016, I was a chair of the Libertarian Party of Washington.
He had great success
This is
in
when I got
Washington.
started. We had 4 candidates win in 2015. One of those candidates is still elected in Moses Lake, Washington. And 2016, we had 34 candidates on the ballot across Washington State,
Yeah, he did
which
great
was a
in
record.
Washington.
And it's not gotten back to that point since then. Most recently, I've written 2 other books called Liberated Mind and The Liberated Mind for Sales Mastery. And I coach salespeople for a living. I coach a national financial company. I coach over 60,000 reps, some of them one-on-one, most of them in group training, right? And I like to look at running for office the same thing as being a salesperson, right? We have to go out there and we have to
LNC
convince
meeting
people
should
to
not
buy our
be an
product,
opportunity to
to
sell
get
your
votes.
books.
That's our product, right?
But
and
I
that's
will say you
profit
are a salesperson
in politics. And what I've developed over the years, some of you are familiar with the Libertarian Leadership Academy. It was an online training platform, and we have over 40 different training videos that basically cover all aspects of running a campaign. And when I talked to Stephen, he had talked about having me create a Libertarian Party branded training. So all of the trainings that I have are currently branded under Libertarian Leadership Academy. So he wanted to talk to me about creating all of these trainings basically under the Libertarian Party brand as something that can be given out for free to Libertarian Party candidates running across the country. Okay. So that's basically why I'm here talking with you today. Now, I don't know any of the other details on what you guys want or what you'd like to see. I am working on a new training course on recalling elected officials. So I am currently the chair of the Recall Rangers of Pacific County. We are recalling Lisa Olson. She is a Republican county commissioner. We filed the recall in the spring and went to Superior Court. The Superior Court judge approved our recall on the basis of the Open Public Meetings Act, violations of the Open Public Meetings Act. And if you look at pretty much any city council, county commission, state legislature, they are having executive session meetings, doing the public's business behind closed doors, right? And that shouldn't happen. So we were able to file that, successfully get it through the County Superior Court. She appealed. So now we are at Washington State Supreme Court, and we should have a decision within the next week if the recall goes forward. The recall moves forward. We're going to start collecting signatures to get it on the ballot for a special election in the spring. So that's the new course that I'm working on, to be able to walk people through the process of recalling an elected official. So that's the new one that I'm working on for those people who don't want to run for office. Maybe you want to go against a really bad public official, city council member, county commissioner that you really don't like. So anyways, that's kind of, you know, the gist of it. I don't know what everyone wants to see or what the campaign committee wants to see, but I am excited to jump back in to this path that I used to be on a decade ago.
Yeah.
And currently
seems like he has some fresh ideas.
Coaching
Austin,
3 candidates. And there should be some more being sent by 2 state Libertarian parties. So I'm excited to be here, excited to be back doing this.
It's the look at
well,
me.
Mr. Pickens, I'd love to get you in contact with the Candidate Support Committee at some point. Back a few months ago, we voted as a board to get 3 main objectives. Number 1 was fundraising, membership, not in any particular order, but membership and fundraising was kind of our number 1 together. And then the last one was candidate support, Project Decentralized Revolution, which is a local level centric campaign to get libertarians elected. So whatever we can do to support our candidates as far as training materials, maybe in-person trainings or online trainings, videos, things like that. I know the idea has been floated of doing region trainings again. So maybe even doing in-person trainings in the different regions is a possibility. But I think at a minimum, what I'm very interested in is the actual curriculum and saying, hey, you know, you're a first-time candidate, maybe you're an experienced candidate or campaign manager or whatever the case is, and you want to run a successful campaign. Here are the tools we're going to provide you to go out and do that. So I think that's what we're currently looking for, but I'll open it up also to anybody else here that may have questions, comments, or anything else.
Yeah, so really quick, before any questions, if anyone would like copies of my campaign workbook, I'd be happy to send it over for free. If you'd like access to the online training, I'd be happy to send it over for free. I'm here to help, basically. So whatever you guys want, I will help make it happen. So.
Anybody have any questions, comments, ideas?
Somebody should ask him his position on,
because if not, Mr. Pickens, what I'd like to do is get you over to Bill Schultz in candidate support,
quote unquote,
and have a little conversation with the committee.
To me, that is
they usually meet twice a month and kind of sit down and see what our needs are and what you can provide, and just kind of chalk up a game plan and go from there.
That's what I would ask.
Sounds good. That works for me.
All right.
And Pickens, you're getting gray.
Well, I'm really happy you reached out, my friend. I don't know if anybody else has anything, but I do appreciate it, and we'll get the ball rolling on that. I'll make an introduction, and we'll sit down and talk some shop later. Thanks for coming back.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks, my friend. All right, next up on the agenda, we have, I don't believe we ever made a motion on item B, which is discussion on ballot access payment distribution procedure. Mr. Watkins had requested that that be moved to the next meeting since he won't be present tonight.
Mr. Chair, I move that we table this item.
It's not table.
November 2nd meeting.
Evan, it's not table. It's postponed definitely.
Is there any discussion on the motion?
It's not table.
Is there any objection to the motion?
Oh,
hearing no objection, motion passes.
Christ have mercy.
Next is item C, motion to initiate trademark litigation regarding New Mexico. Mr. Chadderdon, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. At our last monthly meeting, we authorized the sending of a cease and desist letter related to the unauthorized use
I really
of,
wish people would learn
more than one of our trademarks
what
ongoing
tabling
in
is.
New
I
Mexico.
think I'm going to do a pink parliamentarian episode on
given
that.
that, to my knowledge, there has been no acknowledgement or concession to the demands from that cease and desist letter, I believe that it is the appropriate time at this point to authorize that we proceed with
I think
litigation
everyone
on the
should be
matter.
required to have their
I'll try to
camera
refrain from
on.
any sensitive details on that beyond
It creates a personal connection.
basis, but I think that
So, Andrew, you should have your
it's
camera
the
on.
responsibility of this board to follow through on defending our trademarks and making sure that we stand by and support our
The only
recognized
time you ever saw me
affiliate
with my camera off at an
and
LNC meeting
the
was because I was
resources that we
making.
have invested
I show
in
all
that
my feelings
affiliate.
on my face, and when I thought it would be
So that they can,
indecorous,
as I
the
said earlier,
expressions I
focus
was
on their
doing,
important
I would turn my camera
political
off.
activities
So now you have a
that
hint for
are
watching past
furthering
LNC meetings.
liberty in the state
My
without
camera was
having
off.
to
I was
continue
going.
to fight these battles. The party has invested heavily in protecting our trademark in the past. We've won some very significant
This will not be a popular
fights
opinion,
for that, and I
but
believe
I
we have
agree
a
with
very
Andrew
strong
here.
case to move forward at this time with that. I think we have, furthermore, as I've alluded, an obligation to do so.
I agree
so
with
I've just
Andrew here.
sent to the secretary my proposal for a motion. I was attempting in advance of the meeting to work out some specific budget allocations, but we haven't been able to finalize those yet. We do have a rough estimate for the necessary allocation for that. So I'd welcome an amendment to that matter if we believe that that is appropriate to do so at the time, at this time. But at this moment, my intent would be to propose the motion to authorize the filing of trademark action in New Mexico, pending the allocation of the necessary funds, and that authorization for the appropriate funds shall be conducted via whichever appropriate means, either by email ballot of the LNC or by action of the executive committee, however appropriate to comply with our rules, and that this litigation
It would
shall
be the executive
commence
committee, I
once
think.
the funding is approved.
I hope that wasn't the whole wording of the motion.
Mr. Chair, would you like me to put the ballot up so that people can see the exact wording, or how would you like me to do that?
Yeah, you go ahead. If we have the language, let's put it on the screen.
Thank you for sending that, Mr. Chadderdon.
That you needed it. Appreciate it.
Mike, there wasn't much nonsense. Just something that would have given you, Forrest Whitaker, they did a motion to postpone definitely as a motion to table.
Mr. Chadderdon, is your intention to motion this now, or are we discussing this?
Oh God, you don't
and then you're
motion
move it?
something. You move it.
I am intending to move this action at the moment, and I believe it's important for us to authorize engagement in this matter in tonight's meeting, and that if we are not comfortable with the estimates that we've got at this time for financial allocations, that we still move ahead with the authorization for the action, and that we will proceed once those appropriate fundings are allocated via the means referred to. So if we do think we can move forward with that,
this is a
with the estimates
defective
that we
motion.
have, I would welcome any of the other members to propose an amendment to allocate those funds and strike the language.
You need to
Only for the
allocate at
follow-up
this
action
time.
there.
This is a defective motion if you
that.
don't allocate at the time.
All right, there's a motion and a second. We'll now move on to discussion. I'll go in the order of hands. Mr. Redpath and then Ms. Hayes. Mr. Redpath.
Yes, and I don't know to what extent this is appropriate in open session, but I will bring up a question at this point. There was some discussion earlier about sort of informal discussions with the group in New Mexico that is continuing to use the Libertarian Party name in New Mexico. And I said that I would be willing to do this. It is my understanding that the vice chair was going to, who has there been any sort of informal discussion with people in New Mexico about this situation, which hopefully could avoid any sort of litigation?
There isn't, Bill.
Is that
Austin Martin with the dumb
but somebody else, if they
Frank
want to
sticker
raise their
heart?
hand, can speak on that. Mr. Martin, if you don't mind,
I
I'm
would
going to
love
go.
it if they could
I'm going to go to
resolve
Hayes,
the
and I'll go to
issue,
you
but I
to answer
don't
both
think they
what you
can.
got to
This
say,
has
and
been
then
going on a long
Mr.
time.
Redpath's question. Ms. Hayes, then Mr. Martin.
Hi, this is a question, and it's related to the funding, and I'm wondering if we should move into an executive session for this because it has a little bit of a strategy tie-in. I don't know if that's appropriate though. So I'm open to suggestions on that.
It would be appropriate at this time if the body wishes.
Okay, I move into executive session.
I'll second.
Regarding this funding issue.
All right, there's a motion and a second move to executive session. Is there any discussion?
Yes.
Mr. Martin, go ahead.
It's probably pretty important that some of these details are discussed openly, considering the kind of dramatic events going on with New Mexico and the length of time. In answer to the previous question, yes, we've had discussions going on for years. This is an intentional, malicious attack against our party. It is not an accident. It's not something that we're just going to informally. This was brought up as a maneuver, and it needs to be dealt with appropriately, and we need to go after them and show that we mean business, that we are the Libertarian Party, and we're not going to suffer the DNC to create a liberal version.
It's not the DNC. It's just Lucchini and his friends. Stop it. Stop it. It's not.
Okay, but the reason I want to
DNC.
go in is because I don't want to reveal anything in our strategy publicly that could be used to usurp. So I don't intend to stay in executive session long. However quickly you and Mr. Chadderdon can answer these budget questions, we can come right out.
It would hopefully perfect the motion.
All right, guys, I don't want any crosstalk, please. Any further discussion on going into executive session? Any objection to going into executive session at this time?
Yes, I object.
Who is that?
Austin, would you retract your objection so we can sort that out briefly with the funding and then come back for closing the discussions?
I withdraw my objection.
Oh, those two are in such concert with each other.
Going once, twice, 3 times. Sold. We'll go into executive session.
Recording stopped.
Secretary.
I'm going to have to figure out how to blur that stuff that happened at the beginning of this meeting, though. Mike, now that we're there in executive session, I asked on the Roberts forum, but maybe you know. How do you cite?
Yeah, I'm on my phone and I don't know how to do it on my phone.
Okay. Is Mimi?
I can rejoin on my computer.
Is Mimi now Region 4 alternate?
Yeah, if you could do that while I create the breakout
Why
room,
wasn't that announced on the public
right,
list?
Thank you.
What? Because I think Mimi's Region 4 alternate now. They are having discussions that are not on the public list. Okay, I am going to send an email about that. I'm sure they're going to love me. But I am really tired of that. I really do not need to be serenaded. Okay, I'm sending that email right now, composing it with you guys here.
Mr. Martin, can you stop for me? It's really distracting. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. It's part of my tism that whenever there's some other sound going on,
exactly.
I can't focus.
Play and talk at the same time, and it really annoys me.
Okay, so I'm here.
I see, Mimi. Thank you. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Stop. Oh, that's the phone, Mimi. Where is the... Mimi, what's your name on here?
Mimi?
Okay.
Mimi Robson.
There we go.
I wasn't being tricky. It's my real name.
It was showing you as on phone, on your phone.
I should show two different.
emails
I mean, I'm on my
off.
phone, but I'm both. So anyway, I'm
And it
here,
says,
and it appears you made me host. So do you need
title
me
of the
to
email.
Move me.
Things
you
not on
in-
public list.
Okay, let me find
I think.
you.
Oh wait,
You're
Jesse
here as
Cowart.
Libertarian.
Yeah, and then
Oh,
Jesse.
Okay.
Jesse Cowart.
Okay, I'm going to
too, it
put
looks
them on
like.
mute because they're just trying to get
Okay,
into the other
so-
room. So this is the email I'm sending. It says, a draft of multiple set of minutes has not been published yet. Either Evan's way behind in minutes, and I already talked before about how auto approval was wrongly used. But he's either really behind in minutes or they're not publicly posting the drafts. But more importantly, it says here, it appears that Mimi Robson is now Region 4 alternate. Congratulations. But all of this should have been announced on the public list. Oh, is she just being made? Is she not the Region 4 alternate? Is she just moderating the room while they're gone? Oh, maybe that's it. Then I don't need to send anything. There's still an issue. So maybe I was wrong. Oh, crap. I wanted to have a JJ free room. Oh, God. Well, I guess I can't avoid that. So I was wrong. My bad. The way they were talking, I was like, she's from California. I know they need to appoint somebody, and it wouldn't surprise me if it was Mimi. But there are multiple sets of minutes that haven't been posted to the list. But I'm glad I didn't jump the gun and send and fire off an email when I was talking out my butt. Well, let me say something then. Mimi would make a great Region 4 alternate. I don't know how long they're going to be. And I don't. Yeah, it's Mike is said she got host ability. What I may do is do part 2 of this stream when they come back. I'm going to see how long it takes because JJ is haunting. I can take this off right now. JJ is haunting the lobby, and I don't give him space on my show. That's just the way it is. I'm not going to be broadcasting their discussion. Plus, an LNC meeting, they're a quasi-public body in some sense, at least to the membership, and they consent to have their things broadcast, but I don't think the private chatter when they're in executive session should be broadcast. Even if JJ wasn't there, I just don't think that's necessarily appropriate. I don't know, does anybody in the audience have anything they wish to discuss? I'll bring you on the show until they come back. If you'd like, if there's anything you'd like to talk about, I can send you the eCam link and we could get on and talk. Otherwise, we're just hanging out. Now I'm kind of bummed. I thought Mimi was made Region 4 alternate, and I thought that was such a good choice. This isn't sarcastic. I'm like sad about that. I would have loved to have seen Mimi there. I did get an answer on the Roberts Forum on how you cite the tinted pages. So let's read that. It seems that I discovered that there really isn't a way to do it. Yeah, it just seems people have kind of their own way of doing it. Okay. Well, I'm glad I asked. Now, I thought I would be asking a dumb question, and I'm glad I wasn't asking a dumb question. But during this off time, what I think I'll do is something I wanted to discuss about last meeting, and that is points of privilege. Because I said, and this isn't to pick on Pat, but he's the one who did it last time, on how points of privilege are abused. So we're going to use this off time for little Robert's lessons, but let's go. Mike, too bad you aren't here. We could talk about this. I'm looking for a request for privilege, not a privileged motion, a request for privilege. And that looks like it's 33-1. I didn't prepare for this, so sorry if I didn't think they were going into executive session. Let me see here. So no vote is taken on. Oh, Mike's getting on eCam. Okay. But he'll be able to hear. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to work, because even though I don't know if this is going to work, Mike, because I still have this meeting going on in the background and we can hear their sound. I'm telling him on text. Yeah, it won't work when I have Zoom going, because there's too many sound inputs. And if I turn off the Zoom, I'm not sure I'll be able to reshare it. I was getting audio errors last time. My stream was stopping. So once I get Zoom going, I don't want to stop it. I'm sorry, Mike. So now I'm taking my headphones off. You would go crazy too, because you would still hear the meeting through your headphones, and you'd be trying to listen to me. All right, so what Pat had done was a point of personal privilege. Now, the only time something like that is urgent, if there's something that's keeping you from being able to meaningfully participate in the meeting. That isn't what he was doing. He wanted to pontificate that he was unhappy with the way some people closed debates, things like that. And also he wanted to know if debate was going to be permitted at all. That would be a point of parliamentary inquiry, not be a point of personal privilege. And he used that to go into a rant. And I say rant for everything. So that's not an insult, though. That was an insult. And I do think it was very disrespectful of other people's time. It wasn't an insult, even though I thought it was disrespectful, if that makes any sense. So he completely misused it. So no vote is taken on a request for parliamentary inquiry or a request for information. The other requests, including a request for personal privilege, require a majority vote. The chair can't just unilaterally grant it, though the chair can pause and assume unanimous consent unless someone objects. And it says, are frequently settled by unanimous consent. All right, here. So so you could see how that was abused, that meeting. And I'm trying to find more on it. So it would be here. Request for any other privilege. That's basically what he was asking. When a member desires to make a request not covered by one of the 4 types above, and the 4 types above are request to read papers, request to withdraw or modify a motion, a request for information, and a request for parliamentary inquiry. So this whole personal privilege thing, we abuse the hell out of it in the LP. It's not even a subheading here. It's a request for an other privilege. It's in the category of other. So it says, when a member desires to make a request not covered by one of the 4 types explained above, as, for example, a request to address remarks or make a presentation while no motion is pending, and that's basically what Pat was doing. He rises, addresses the chair, and as soon as he catches the presiding officer's attention, states his request. You don't just say, request for personal privilege. You say what the privilege is. I would like to rant right now about how past meetings were conducted. You have to say what it is that you want to do. Although he does not have to wait for recognition and can make his request even though another member has been assigned the floor, he should never interrupt a member speaking unless that urgency requires it. Something I want to look here, though, about they're in order when another has the floor if they require immediate attention. I always took that to mean that if they didn't require immediate attention, they had to wait for recognition. I'm going to ask this on the Roberts Forum because it seems to me there's a contradiction here that I could be just missing something. Generally, such matters are settled by unanimous consent or informally, but if there is an objection, a motion can be made to grant the request. If explanation is required, it can be requested or given, but this must not extend into debate. These requests should be treated so as to interrupt the proceedings as little as is consistent with the demands of justice. It's one of the few places that justice is mentioned in Roberts. I think it should be mentioned a bit more. Let's also now, since there's still an executive session, I might take a bathroom break. Let's talk about lay on the table, because that happened this meeting. It happens all the time. Even people who've been state party chairs like Evan. Let me tell you, I think one time in 10 years have I ever seen the motion to lay on the table used properly. Doesn't mean it hasn't been made a gazillion times. It's only been proper once, I think. So lay on the table. That's section 17. The motion to lay on the table enables the assembly to lay the pending question aside temporarily when something else of immediate urgency has arisen or when something else needs to be addressed before consideration of the pending question is resumed. Now, Andrew Watkins not being there in order to make his motion, and they're going to take it up at the next meeting, does that meet that description? No, it doesn't. They didn't lay it aside temporarily because there was something else that needed to be addressed before that item could. They didn't lay it aside temporarily because something urgent had just came up. What they actually did was a motion to postpone definitely to the next monthly meeting. This is really basic. Please get it right, because you give parliamentarians everywhere like twitch. Well, maybe that's what you want to do. It is funny to make us twitch. I'll grant you that. So let me go back to that third, because of what I want to ask on the forum, but so I don't forget about that. I don't got something to mark a page, and I don't want to dog ear this brand new copy. Okay, I think I got to go wee. I want to see if I can stick something up here. Is this text? Yes. Let me see if I can put something on the screen that allows me to go upstairs temporarily to go wee. Let's see if this comes up on the screen. Yes, but I don't like, I want to change the background of it. Border background, color. I don't want a gradient. No, that doesn't look too good either. Does black make it better? No. Maybe I'm trying to make it so that you can actually see it. I don't want a gradient. Huh. What does this do? No, I don't like that. Well, I guess you guys can see this okay. Okay, I'm going to be right back. I'll see you in a minute. Hopefully they don't come back while I'm gone. Okay, I think they're still gone. Okay. Hope they realize that these meetings are by special rule of order. Let me take that off. That these meetings by special rule of order are only supposed to last 2 hours. But look what I brought down so that we could talk about. Look what they just came out with. I don't really like it, though. I'm a huge Fireball fan, and I'm a huge Apple fan. They came out with Fireball. Oh, it looks like they're coming back. Fireball Apple. And I don't like it. Oh, no, they're sharing a screen. Never mind, they aren't coming back. So anyway, this isn't so great. But I figure if this ends up going all night, I'm going to need it. Listen, Alon Owen, Alon Rook, sorry. Maybe you'd like it. And it doesn't even like smell that great. I love Fireball. Okay. I never took a... Oh my God, I think I'm going to throw up. Oh. That was bad. Oh. Now the whole place... Oh no, don't try it. It's not good. Fireball, I'm so sorry. I think I just... Not that I was going to get one, but I think I just lost any chance of a Fireball sponsorship. Oh, no, that apple is no bueno. No bueno. Oh, God, it smells so bad. I didn't think something... Oh, I'm very sensitive to smells. I should have known better. I'm like a beagle with that. Once our beagle, you know that blue ice stuff that you could put like on your muscles when you're sore, but it's super, super strong. We have a beagle named Xena, and Wayne, I had a knot in my back, so Wayne was putting something of that in my back. Here comes Xena trotting up, and he holds it out, and it's that menthol like rub. She took a huge honking smell of it, and my God, I think that dog is still traumatized over it, and that was 6 years ago. Well, while we're here, unless someone has something they want to talk about, I think I am going to put that question on the forum. They have the money to do... Well, let's talk about this motion too. And I know this is going to be controversial. Oh, I care. One thing you know about me, pink hair, don't care. IDGAF. Take... Yeah, some things promise apple, and they give you ass. Oh boy, that's not good when you're expecting apple and you get ass. So let's talk about this motion a bit. Now, I know a lot of people won't agree with me. We have to protect the trademark. Otherwise, and I know some people disagreed on the Michigan thing. I'm not even talking about the underlying issue. I'm not talking about who ended up in charge. I obviously was not a fan of that. There's no secret about that. I'm talking about the idea that we do have to protect our name. With us being the Republican farm team right now, and I know Austin and Andrew are making this like some kind of DNC corruption in New Mexico. Okay, that's not our danger. Our danger isn't the DNC, it's the RNC. And you've got state parties that are openly being the farm team for the Republicans. We have to protect our name against that. So if those states are ever disaffiliated, and I'm not saying they ever would be, because it's such a high threshold, but if they were, I mean, New Mexico was in fact disaffiliated, but they also disaffiliated from national. It was kind of a mutual thing. But if a state was ever disaffiliated for openly supporting Republicans, which is definitely grounds for disaffiliation, whether or not the votes would ever be there for it is another story. You can't have that group of people who flagrantly violated the bylaws, got themselves disaffiliated for it, continue to use the brand. That is part of a condition of affiliation. Otherwise, if we do not protect our trademark with the way that McCardle and crew are just trying to whore out the party, no, that's not a personal comment about anyone's sexual practices. All of the people clutching at pearls, that is a metaphor, and you know it, but I have to say that, who are dropping their drawers for the Republican Party or the MAHA or whatever it might be, we might as well give up trying to have an identity if we're not, we just might as well give it up. It'd be like leaving your social security and your identity around and going, anyone can use it. I know that analogy doesn't walk on all fours. I know there's a huge debate in the LP about IP, but the fact is it exists. It exists, and in Libertopia, it might not. We are not in Libertopia right now. For everyone who says that I'm such a purist, no, that is not in fact the case. When it comes to fraudulently deceiving people about what the Libertarian, who the actual Libertarian affiliate is, no, I think we have to protect that. That has always been my position. And that's my position whether or not I like the leadership of who the recognized affiliate is. Now, I'm friends with the current chair of New Mexico, so this is not, don't take that as some kind of backhanded comment that I don't like them. But say the Libertarian Party of Atlantis, okay? I use a fictional one because there's no reason to get personal. Let's say I detested the leadership there, but some other group came in and claimed they were the Libertarian Party of Atlantis. I would say we have to protect our recognized affiliate. The affiliate is not who the leadership is. Leadership changes. That's why I say I don't want the LNC to fail, even though I have a huge chip on my shoulder about Steve Nikela. Gigantic chip. I haven't hidden that. But he's not the party, and he's not going to be chair forever. In fact, his days are numbered. I don't think he's rerunning. But even if he were rerunning, he wouldn't win. That's just a fact of life. He's not going to be the next chair. I don't want the LNC to fail because I don't want the party to fail. The party is something separate and distinct from whoever happens to be warming the seats at that particular time. You can hate the current occupants of the LNC, or some of them, and hate's a strong word. You know what I mean. Strongly dislike. I don't hate any of them. I don't even strongly dislike. There's some I do, but not even the super majority. The party is more than that. The party is more than that. I'm going to put this comment here. Yes, you must keep your identity. Alliances are okay. I believe in alliances. That's what was sold to us last time, but that's not what we got, you know. But alliances, I'm fine with, you know. Yeah. So we have to protect the brand. And I know some people go, that's not pure libertarianism. You want to know what else isn't pure libertarianism? A political party. The non-voting anarchists have a point. I'm an anarchist. Why am I politically involved? Because I'm also a realist on the meta issues. And the meta issues is, I could want to leave politics alone. Politics is not going to leave me alone. And this is a way to create more libertarians as well and get some libertarians elected along the way. If I wanted to be a Republican and I thought that was the best vehicle, I would just join the Republican Party. And I'm not even judging libertarians who do that. They have their own paths on what they think, you know, is the best way. But you don't sell out the Libertarian Party that has hundreds of thousands of volunteer hours and dollars for it to be what it is. I consider that a form of fraud. Can I argue that it's fraud in some kind of strict libertarian property sense argument? No, I can't. But we don't live in that world. Call me less than pure for that. What did I say before? Pink hair, don't care. IDG AF. Shine Dog, it might be a mess, but it's our mess. It's our beautiful mess. And we need to protect it. I know what you mean, Shine Dog. I say the LP's a mess a lot of times. I'm not happy with the current LNC. That doesn't mean everybody. But like as a corporate body, I'm not. And I'm certainly not happy with the chair. And he could fix that really easily, but he don't care to. He's wrong. Let's get into that a bit. Not what he did, but on this issue of being wrong. People who expect their leadership to be perfect are bound to be disappointed. No leaders are perfect. Any who claim to be, they're a tyrant in the making and a liar. Leaders are not perfect. They're going to mess up. They're going to mess up really bad if they're a bold leader, because they're going to make some bold things that just turn out to be wrong, or they might get all up in their feels. Steve was really, really, really wrong. That isn't the problem I have, that he was wrong. Problem is that he won't admit it. He won't fess up to it. I'm not so sure I've ever seen him candidly and forthrightly admit when he was wrong on something. Even when he was on the LP Ally show, speaking of trademark issue, he kind of, because he wanted to make the people of Michigan happy, and if I were in Michigan and on the other side, I would appreciate someone like me more, who is like, nope, I still stand by my decision, rather than trying to pander to you. I'm not going to pander. I stand by that decision. Steve, once he became chair, was trying to be everything to everybody, got on the LP Ally show and goes, well, if I had more information, I may have voted differently, but wouldn't specify what additional information there is now that would have changed his mind, because the answer is none. He had all of the information. If you think your vote was wrong, that's okay. I could tell you votes I think was wrong in the past. I had voted yes to remove Arvin Vohra. I don't believe that was the right decision now. I do think the censorship that did pass was the right decision. My removal vote was wrong. I was wrong. I'm not going to mamby-pamby around that. This whole, yeah. Steve, if you regret your Michigan vote, just say you do and say why. Not the, if I had more information. What information? You had all the information. I was there. So anyway. Like, for instance, with me buying Angela's bullshit last year, let me tell you, I was wrong. I could give you reasons why it happened. Does it matter? What matters is I was wrong. And I'm going to forthrightly admit that. If anyone ever is interested in reasons or explanations, I'd be more than happy to give it. But I'm not going to dance around the issue. I was wrong. I saw I was wrong right after DC. And the minute I saw I was wrong, I reversed course. And I defied her. And I'd do it again. How's it feel, Angela? The pink-haired crazy lady in Colorado disrupted your plans. Foiled the plans also of a Kennedy. One thing about me, like me or not, again, IDGAF, when I'm doing something, I believe it's right at the time. And if I ever in the future come to believe it's wrong, I'm going to tell you that, and I'm going to own it. Simple as that. Simple, and I won't apologize for something I'm not sorry for. And things I actually am, I will apologize the minute I realize I was wrong. And that's what I have against Steve, because that's the sign of a bad leader. There is no way in the world he can justify ignoring an official harassment complaint that has a procedure in the policy manual. That doesn't mean he had to ultimately agree the harassment complaint had validity, which it did, but we didn't even get to that point. He ignored it. That is flagrant violation of fiduciary duty, and he has not owned up to it. Has Angela violated her fiduciary duty? Yes, of course she has. But the reason why some people are able to make all this noise, like Andrew and Austin, that might have a tiny shred of credibility because others on the LNC have too, and they haven't owned it. It isn't to the extent of Angela. It didn't involve money, but they have, and they refuse to own it. Steve ignored harassment complaint, and he allowed rampant harassment on the LNC. Meredith should have never said to Angela they had a quasi-attorney-client privilege. I'm not even going to comment on that anymore because she has threatened to sue me. I'm just stating the fact. She did say that. She should not have said that. She has not owned yet that she should not have said that. That's all I'm going to say because I don't need to be threatened. They're back.
Is Evan back? How do I just go to make you host now, right?
Evan might be the last one out. I think the secretary usually is for whatever reason, so maybe just wait until he comes back on.
Well, I see him. I see Libertarian Party.
He's here. He's just muted.
I'm here. I just don't know why. Oh, there it is. Reclaim host.
Okay. All right. You were able to do it without me. Yay.
Yep. I'm the host. Thank you, Mimi. I appreciate it.
Excellent. No worries.
Recording in progress.
You're muted, Mr. Chair.
My apologies. We are back in regular session. It is 9:10 p.m. I think everybody made it through the portal. I don't think we have any stragglers. So we'll go ahead and proceed. We are back in discussion on the motion.
I just got the LPA.
Mr. McMahon, you have your hand raised?
I move to amend the motion. Move to strip and amend.
Strike, not strip.
Just leave the room. I can't help him. Mr. Ford needs help. Somebody tell Mr. Ford to leave the meeting. Strip and amend to direct the chair or his designees to prepare a proposal for initiation of trademark litigation and potentially additional litigation relating to ballot access at the discretion of the chair in New Mexico to be presented to the executive committee in a meeting to be held within 1 week.
Looks like I'm covering another LNC meeting.
Second.
Or executive
motion
committee
is
meeting.
moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on this motion?
I have a brief statement.
Go ahead, Mr. Chadderdon.
I want to say thank you to the rest of the board for workshopping the language of that, and then we came to an amicable approach for that. I believe this
He did a motion for substitution, is what he just
satisfies
did.
my wishes.
Side
to
bets on whether they're going to
clear
handle it
intention to move
properly.
forward with this, particularly after our
I bet they don't.
desist that the group in New Mexico took actions to double down on their
I
use
bet
of the
they don't
name,
handle
so
it
I'm very
properly.
happy,
It's going to
for
pass, and I'm just
the
being
good discussion we
a
had
pedant.
and
But
this
I
new
bet
motion
because
text that I think
what
puts
Evan
us,
actually
fully in
did
compliance
was a
with
motion
our
to
policy manual
substitute.
and our correct processes for
It's not to strip and
going
amend,
down
whatever
this
that is.
pathway. So
It was a substitute.
I hope everyone will support this amended motion and that we
But
can
I bet
see
they don't handle it
hopefully
right.
avoiding
Let's
this
see.
if there is any further action.
They might. I know they're not going to
coming
word it
from
right because
the
it's already been worded
group they're
wrong. Not
infringing,
the
and,
text
if
of the
not, that
motion,
we'll
but
be,
the
taking
parliamentary
the steps that
form.
we need to defend our trademarks.
Thank you, Mr. Chadderdon. Is there any further discussion at this time?
Got a lot of viewers. Hello, everyone.
Seeing no discussion, Mr. Secretary, whenever you're ready with your ballot.
This is on the amendment.
It's on the substitution.
Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, yeah, we got to vote. Let me ask this. Is there any objection to the amendment?
It's a substitution, but substitution's a form of amendment.
Hearing no objection, the amendment passes.
It's actually a substitute.
Mr. Ford says re-invite me to meeting via email.
He can just click on the email.
Yes. I see. I feel your frustration.
I help Mr. Ford. I'm sorry.
I'm going to send that to him right now. I just sent it.
If you send your email, Steve, it's going to come with your name on it.
Okay.
He has to use the email he
So
got.
is there any discussion on the motion as amended?
No, it's the substitute, so it's now the main motion.
Hearing none, we'll move on to a roll call vote.
I told you they wouldn't handle it in the proper parliamentary form.
Yes.
I know Doug watches this show after the fact. I hope you're learning parliamentary stuff.
Yes.
Mr. Ford. I'll come back to Mr. Ford because I don't think he's here. Ms. Hayes.
Yes.
Mr. Nebel.
Aye.
Mr. Martin.
I vote yes.
Mr. McGee. Mr. McGee.
They lose Mr. McGee?
Is Mr. McGee in the room?
Aye.
Thank you. And there's Mr. Ford. I vote yes. Mr. Hirsch.
Yes.
Vice Chair Redpath.
I'll vote yes.
Mr. Thompson.
Pass.
Mr. Ford.
I'm sorry, I just got back into the meeting. Could you please reread the
Yeah, the motion, the main motion is direct the chair or his designees to prepare a proposal for initiation of trademark litigation and potentially additional litigation relating to ballot access at the discretion of the chair in New Mexico to be presented to the executive committee in a meeting to be held within 1 week.
Yes.
Mr. Nikela, Chair Nikela.
I'll pass briefly.
Okay. Mr. Thompson.
This is Cowart. I will vote aye.
Did Mr. Thompson pass?
Stepped away for the bio break. Sorry.
Okay. Mr. Nikela.
I vote aye.
Okay. The votes are 13 yes, 0 no's, 0 abstentions.
All right, motion passes. All right, the orders of the day are item D, motion to rescind SIC
No, the
report.
orders of the
Mr.
day are
Chadderdon,
to adjourn unless there's a motion for
you have the
extension of
floor
time, because the
to make your
special
motion.
rule of order that
Thank you very
allows
much.
for these special
I
meetings
don't have
limits
the
them to
full
2
text
hours.
for it, but I think I included that in my notice thread. I believe as I will try to pull this
Oh,
up
wait, it's not 2
specifically
hours yet.
and
Sorry, my
Do you want me
bad.
to put it on
See,
the screen, Mr. Chadderdon?
but they only have
oh yes,
14
I actually found it.
minutes.
So the motion that I present today is to rescind the Special Investigation Committee report adopted on June 9th and all appurtenant motions and resolutions adopted with it
Appurtenant?
or thereafter due to the
Just
concerns
call the
over its
question, people.
accuracy and its independence.
Just, as I'd say on
So
Cultivar
if it's all right,
R&R,
I'll speak to that at this time. Or
call
should
the
I?
question, bitches.
We will need a second before we can get into discussion.
I will happily second this motion.
Mr. Chatham, the floor is yours.
Thank you. We've had a lot of discussions on this matter. We've had a lot of back and forth over the last several months. So I think most of the arguments have been made. I believe that we've seen issues with as mentioned in the motion text, the accuracy of some of the claims or the merits of some of the claims, as well as matters related to independence of the investigation.
I didn't have my screen all the way up.
So with that, I think we've had some new information come forward to us that I think supports all of those concerns strongly recently. And I believe that it is worthwhile to consider whether that report is forming a accurate accounting of
it was
the matters investigated. So with that, I'll conclude my comments and
well, I'll give him his maturity
relinquish the
in
floor.
concluding his comments, but Austin's not
Mr.
going to be
Martin?
quite so mature. Told you.
Hey, thanks, guys. As Mr. Chadderdon said, I think a lot of the arguments on this have really already been made. The public doesn't get to see the full extent of it, but we do.
Please don't play while you're talking. That is rude. That is inappropriate. It is distracting to people. It's already bad enough that we got the Disco Nights shirt on. We don't need to be seeing cleave.
To deviate from that personally for me.
The gods of the internet are blessing us.
Right. So I hope you all considered what we all got to see this week and the significance of that.
What do you mean what you got to see this week?
Used in litigation, there's there's some obvious issues. So I'll just
was there a private discussion?
I respect you guys, and I'm hoping that we can do the right thing today.
Obviously, there was a private discussion.
Mr. Dar, you have the floor.
Related to this, I still support having an independent investigation to clarify any matters that might be unclear to individuals here, to lower any doubt. But until that is conducted, that is why I'm still in favor of the SIC until an independent investigation is done.
But they were having private discussions.
Mr. McMahon?
Can you see this now?
I just wanted to say that when I was not on the committee, I was advocating strongly for an independent investigative committee, a third party hired outside to do a soup to nuts and review of everything. But I do agree with Mr. Dar. But I wasn't on the committee when this was all going on, but I felt very strongly at the time
so did I.
that it should be handled by
but it wasn't going to happen.
Group. But I think it needs to stand until that happens. That's my opinion on it.
Mr. Chadderdon.
I would just raise a very brief follow-up comment. I understand people's considerations with working to conduct an independent investigation with that, but I just wanted to emphasize that with, I think, some of the issues that have been seen by the board and the issues discussed, I think it would be irresponsible of us to let that stand with those items still on the table before us. So
you should not be having secret discussions.
Mr. Ford, then Mr. Martin. Mr. Ford.
So, at the risk of sounding like a car salesman, what's involved in this independent report? What is the cost? How quickly could it take place?
The only thing I could say is when I was probing for a third-party forensic type audit, it was around $20,000. There might be others that have different experiences getting RFPs for different auditors, so I can't.
The point isn't that it lost money;
it's
that she hid the
I
source.
know this is not within the construct of a
textbook
Roberts approved conversation.
Embezzlement.
But I just want the truth out, and I want this to end desperately. Is this something that can be accomplished in a matter of weeks? Because on one hand, I'm not looking for something that's going to drag out months and then have this stand and then potentially be proven wrong, being completely as an outsider. On the other hand, if this can be done quickly, and finally, these open issues can be challenged and either found as an issue or put to rest, whatever the truth is. And we just do this. Can this happen in a matter of weeks?
I don't know.
Is it possible in this organization just to have a roundtable conversation in public and we could just put this to bed? Yeah, depending on your interpretation.
No. Only if we moved into, I think it's a body as a whole type discussion, which would require a vote.
I would second that. I'd love to have just
point of information. Point of information. Do you mean a committee of the whole?
Maybe the committee of the whole. That's what I meant.
No,
yeah.
And that's not.
But that doesn't necessarily. That just makes things a little bit messier as far as air traffic control.
That's not how it goes.
What? Messy?
That's not how it goes.
I want the truth to be outed. Because I'm convinced until we do that.
The truth is out.
This is never going to end. At the same time, I don't want the potential appointment of a commission to drag this out for months either. I'm not taking a shot at anyone. I think that's just a common sense solution.
Yeah, so no problem with what you did to me, though, did you?
You guys know how good I am at moving stuff, right? I'll move that this discussion be put to a committee of the whole with regard to a conversation of having a quick, open, outsiders investigation.
Oh my God!
Just to be clear, okay, I might be confused as to what you were requesting. I thought you wanted a committee of. Okay, I might be. I've been up since 5 a.m. A committee of the whole just allows us to basically speak across from each other. That's all it does.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. That is not what committee of the whole is, Steve. My fucking God. That is not what it is.
Look into a third-party auditor? Is that the context?
I'm looking for the body to agree. I don't know how you do this. How do you construct this as a proposal, right? I'm looking for the body to agree to a third-party investigation as long as it is brief and to the point.
Are you going to look into what happened in Colorado?
Chance of it being brief.
Are you going to look into what happened in Colorado?
I don't know what to say, because we're going to ultimately, and this is meant in the spirit of goodwill to all, ultimately this will never end. We have two groups of people with two very distinct points of view. And until, as long as there are questions that remain.
There's always going to be questions,
even if those questions exist.
But the one main question is settled.
This is still going to be argued.
She hired Austin Padgett's company.
Mr. Ford, would you like
there
me
was a
to
policy
facilitate
manual.
a board meeting, not a business meeting, to discuss this topic at some point?
Yes, as soon as possible.
Okay.
I mean, listen, there's a couple of things that we have to address from tonight with extreme urgency. Of course, the New Mexico situation, but the same urgency needs to be appropriated to this conversation.
Have this
you
vote.
have my commitment on that. I will work with the board to get something going. I'm going to go to the other hands, Mr. Dar, and then Mr. McMahon. I don't believe he's. Well, no, you had spoke. I'll go Mr. Dar, Mr. Martin, Mr. McMahon, Mr. Dar.
Just really quick, as you stated earlier, from the quotes I got previously, it was 10 to 20K to start, and then anywhere from up to 40 to 80K is the upward numbers were on some of the estimates there.
Is her disguising
for it. So
the audit is
those were some of the numbers,
thing.
though getting an actual new bid would be advisable.
Mr. Martin.
I'm willing to let Mr. Redpath and Mr. McMahon go first, since I've gotten the chance to speak on this.
Dar's point is correct. They need to leave it as it is.
Mr.
And if
McMahon,
they want to also do an outside report, that's fine.
I get what Mr. Ford was saying. I think that's a separate thing. Either
yes,
move to
Evan
amend this motion to take up hiring somebody else to do it or something like that, or dispense this motion or something like that. But I just wanted to say that I get Mr. Ford. I just wasn't sure what he was wanting to do, but it seems like we've moved on past that. So I have nothing else to say.
See, but they keep talking about an auditor.
Mr.
The money.
Yes, I mean the fee quote
issue.
that seemed reasonable that was put out there, which means it's not
when
going
I say
to be
the
quick.
money.
We're not. There's no accounting firm or some investigative firm that's going to come in here and turn something around in just a few weeks.
The issue is
that isn't going to happen. I also just have a question here. When did this start? We have 20 minutes on this item. Did it start? How many minutes ago did it start?
Accountability.
I think it was 10 minutes ago.
We have 9.5 minutes left.
Nine and a half
no,
minutes
you got 3
left.
minutes because it's a 2-hour meeting.
Mr. Martin?
I want to just speak really frankly. We all found out this week that this SIC, if implemented in litigation, would never hold up and would probably get us in trouble for not rescinding it. We learned something that was extremely troubling from a member of the SIC of a nature that could cause us legal and reputational
I have no idea what he's
harm
talking
if we
about.
do not take action. So I would love to get the truth out, and I fully support every effort to do so. And the first step of telling the truth is about the lie. We have to retract it. This is not something that is subject to discussion. Even if you think you got one fact right in the report, if you got 10 other facts wrong that are extremely harmful and misrepresenting the situation dramatically, that's a problem. The conflicts of interest, that's a huge problem, a massive problem, an insurmountable one.
It seems like they had private discussions that I don't.
This is about telling the truth and doing the right thing.
Know what he's talking about, so I can't make a comment.
pro-McCardle or anti-McCardle. It's not about pro-Trump or anti-Trump. And
Yes, it
unfortunately,
is.
I think that's what's driving a lot of the decision-making is political bias and not actually
the fact is she disguised
our job as directors is to get to the truth
the
and not to play
origin of freedom calls.
stupid thing. So the reality is we do not need something that could get us in serious legal trouble and
it's not going to get
us in trouble,
no,
because what that
SIC
represents is a frame job.
Oh, that is bullshit.
There's definitely some things that I'd love to see investigated and may be problematic, but it's a maybe. Everything that the SIC showed us, it turns out, is a very serious question. And
of course they're communicating,
it's
Donnie.
crazy to me that the opinions are so strong in favor that even with
she's directing this
proof that misrepresentations were made,
that is outside of decorum.
To consider rescinding it. Heck, you're admitted through the response in the JC that misrepresentations may have occurred, and we're not bound by the statement of principles to not lie to people.
That isn't,
which is ridiculous.
That
is
isn't
a ridiculous
what was said.
That's not a mischaracterization.
That isn't what was said.
In no
I know.
unambiguous, it's unambiguously clear.
I know. He's not.
And so it's ridiculous to me that we're sitting here having this discussion. You guys wanted to whack me on the head with the statement of principles for saying I should get rid of socialism in the party, and I think we should. Because it's a problem. So
that wasn't what was said in McGee's response.
Maintaining this any longer, it's an active threat to our reputation, and I believe it actually ties into some of what we're dealing with on other matters, because this is not a standalone issue. And as I pointed out before, one of the members of the SIC is caught in a conflict that is so scandalous that it actually dwarfs anything
from what I
McCardle
know
was doing,
about,
in my opinion.
Then move for an investigation.
And I'm not just talking about the Soros connection
of that person.
Mr. Redpath, if you want to talk about the payments that you received and speak in your defense, I'm open to that.
No, there is no disciplinary action against Mr. Redpath right now. If you want to make that motion, make that motion.
Why that wasn't
Mr. Martin, this isn't germane to the motion, and it's accusatory.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Steve.
That was undisclosed to
Thank
the
you,
SIC.
Steve.
You're accusing another LNC member.
Thank you,
And he had a
Steve.
conflict of interest by
Shut it
receiving
down,
money from one of the parties
Steve.
that were directly
He needs
involved
to
in the
move
investigation.
for an investigation if he thinks another LNC member has conducted misconduct.
Hey, Austin, let's move it along.
Mr. Martin, Mr. Redpath, you have your hand raised?
Yeah, I moved the previous question.
Yes, thank you.
So go to a vote.
On the previous
is there a second
question.
to end debate?
Yeah, okay. I got that.
Second.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, we'll go ahead to a ballot. Mr. Secretary, whenever you're ready.
Mr. Bowler.
No.
Mr. Chadderdon.
I vote yes.
Vice Chair Dar.
No.
Natalie, he's doing
Mr.
much
Ford.
better.
I'll abstain.
Ms. Hayes.
Pass real quick.
Mr. Nebel.
Nay.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. McGee.
Nay.
I vote no. Mr. Hirsch.
No.
Mr. Redpath.
No.
Mr. Thompson.
No.
Chair Nikela, I'm going to come back to you.
Yeah.
Ms. Hayes.
I'm going to abstain.
Coward. Coward.
Mr. Nikela.
I vote no.
Thank you, Steve. You took
The vote
guts
is
there.
2 yes, 9 no, and 2 abstentions.
Mr. Chair, I move to adjourn.
All right, is there a second?
You don't need a second
Yes.
because actually you're over.
Any objection to
time
adjournment?
for
Hearing none, we are adjourned at 9:33 p.m. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great rest of your evening.
Okay, we're going to talk about this a little bit. Perhaps I was incorrect. Oh, now he's playing the ukulele. I'm shutting that down. Hold on, I'm listening. For a second, they're going to have an XCOM meeting. Okay. I turn them off. Okay. I could have been too hasty in calling Ms. Hayes a coward for not voting on that. Perhaps that was the best thing, since she allegedly had a quasi-attorney-client privilege. She shouldn't have participated in debate at all then. Maybe she didn't. So maybe I take that back. I take that back. She didn't vote on the first time. She didn't vote on this time. Region 4, you need an alternate. If your primary rep's going to be abstaining, and she probably has good reasons to abstain, that was hasty. That was hasty. And part of my hastiness might be because, quite frankly, I don't like her. She already knows that. The feeling is mutual. Steve, I'm surprised, didn't abstain. He could have easily because he was chair, but he wanted to make a statement. And I am going to give Steve, who you know, I have a big chip on my shoulder over. I'm going to give him major props for that. All of the other LNC members, major props. Well, major props. I am so sorry Bill Redpath is getting dragged like this. And Steve did a much better job chairing this committee. One thing I wanted to go over, I'm hardly an expert on this, so I'm going to say what my recollection is, and we're going to look it up. Committee of the Whole doesn't do anything for them here. All Committee of the Whole does is someone else chairs it. Steve couldn't chair the Committee of the Whole, if I'm remembering correctly, or is that quasi? These get me crazy. It removes the limits on debate. It's still formal. Like let's look up Committee of the Whole. And then it rises up and reports to the body who has to vote on its recommendations. Committee of the Whole does nothing for a body like the LNC. So let's look up Committee of the Whole, in my opinion. So the Committee of the Whole and its two alternate forms, the quasi-committee of the whole and informal consideration, are devices that entitle the full assembly to give detailed consideration to a matter under conditions of freedom somewhat like those of a committee. Under each of these procedures, any member can speak in debate on the main question or any amendment for the same length of time as allowed by the Assembly's rules as often as he is able to get to the floor. So you're not limited to twice. As under the regular rules of debate, he cannot speak another time on the same question so long as a member who has not spoken is seeking the floor. No, Steve could not chair Committee of the Whole. I'm reading it right here. I'm just looking at comments. In a Committee of the Whole, which is suited to large assemblies, so the LNC would go into a quasi-Committee of the Whole, but they said Committee of the Whole. A chairman of the Committee of the Whole is appointed, and the regular presiding officer leaves the chair. In a quasi-Committee of the Whole, the presiding officer of the assembly remains in the chair. But even in a quasi-committee of the whole, they say that's for meetings of medium size, which they define as 50 to 100 members. This would be considered a small meeting, even though it's not a small board. They would move to go into informal consideration. That name is deceptive. It doesn't mean there aren't any rules. I saw Ken Molman say that in the Allies chat. He is incorrect. He said there would be less rules and more chaos. No, all it means is that people can speak more times. It loosens some of the debate restrictions, but it's still just as structured. There's some other things that are like it has to report out and that sort of thing, but it doesn't remove structure. I want to see if there are any other comments here in but good job, LNC. Good job. So, Yeah, well, Mike. It was Mike who said with the, you and I both get wrapped around the axle sometimes on that stuff. You know it better than I do, usually. Yeah, Ken Wallman point out that carrying separate petitions is common industry practice for ballot access petitioners. Okay, I'm just going through the comments here. Ken also said it's 7 people on the XCOM, 4 officers and 3 others from the LNC. That's the maximum. They are down 1 and they haven't replaced it. And the policy manual doesn't say they have to. The only required members of the executive committee are the 4 officers. And there's some comments here. I don't know how true they are. So, Meredith's making a lot of comments at LP Allies. She needs to address the issue that she wrote to Angela that they had a quasi attorney-client privilege. I'm sorry, that's a big problem. I'm not going to shut up about it because it's not good for my side on this whole Angela thing. I don't care. She needs to address that. She hasn't addressed it. She needs to address it. And she also said New Mexico refused to talk to Paul Dar and accused him of being secret Mises. I don't know if that's true or not. I'd have to ask Paul about that. I talked to, well, yeah, I don't know if that's true or not. I think everyone knows Paul isn't Mises. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Forget about, wait. New Mexico accused Paul Dar of being secret Mises, which means it's a bad thing if he was Mises and wouldn't talk to him. New Mexico is Mises. Why would New Mexico not talk to somebody they thought was Mises? New Mexico is a Mises state. That makes no sense. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying it doesn't make sense. It doesn't pass the smell test. It could have happened. I'd ask Paul. But that makes no logical sense. There's something else there. Okay. And I don't think there's anything else in that stream that I want to address. So that is going to be it for this evening. And boy, did we have a lot of watchers. I appreciate you being here. I need to go private this stream so I could go blur out the little exhibition that happened earlier. And then it will be, once that processes, I will unprivate it. So that will be at some point tonight or maybe tomorrow morning because it might not finish processing before I go to bed. I hope you all have an awesome night. Mike, please get with me on when we are doing the next Cult of RONR. And thank you. And mostly good job, LNC. You know I'm going to be critical of some things. That's just the nature of the beast. This is a commentary show. All right. Good night. Mi guapas de Libertad.
You gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in the business, not because they want to